Yes, friends. Today I am taking my second prediction. With my second prediction, I predicted. Let me again remind the people who are just linked to me by WhatsApp message or WhatsApp messages, because in 2017 on 18th September, because it is 17 the about Prime Minister Modi, I just predicted that he will be the Prime Minister in 2019 as well as in 2024. Okay, so my prediction was on 18th September 2017. The reason was that first time I saw his horoscope on his birthday in 2017, 17th September 1950 is his date of birth, right? And time of birth is 12/21. Time of birth, and place of birth is Badnagar, Gujarat, right, India. So when I saw his horoscope first time in 2017, after his birthday was celebrated in 2017, right? So on 18th of this, I just sent the message to my WhatsApp members, and this is just noted. It is 100% true, because I have just searched that message of mine, so that one can just because some of the people, some of my colleagues, or some of the classmates, not classmates but my students as well, they requested me, sir, why don't you predict this online, I mean by video message, etc. That's why I'm taking this. I've taken this here. The reason is because of those requests of the students. That same message I just searched, and I have found that message, that on 18th September 2017 I predicted that Mr. Modi will be again Prime Minister in 2019 as well as in 2024. Reason is his best period of life, the best period of his life will start from 11th October 2020 to 11th October 2027. Just to utilize this best period of his life, he has to just improve upon his position of the previous years, previous time period, right? So on the basis of this, I just predicted that he will be the Prime Minister in 2019. So he became the Prime Minister. I'm not saying that because of my prediction he became the Prime Minister, because of his efforts, whatever. Now I'm describing his horoscope. Okay, what are the yogas formed, conjunctions in his horoscope form? What are the best period for his life? What is the better period? What is the, and all those events which has happened or which have happened in his life. Okay, or major events I'll talk about that, how this the same period, in the same period which I'm just going to talk about this. Okay, in the same period those events happened in his life. The reason is the first time he became Chief Minister of Gujarat, or he replaced Keshubhai Patel, the Chief Minister of Gujarat in those days, in 2001. So on 3rd October, I've written down here, on 3rd October 2001, he replaced Keshubhai Patel. 3rd October 2001, he replaced Keshubhai Patel as Chief Minister of Gujarat. And on again 7th October, he took the oath of Chief Minister of Gujarat, right? But on 3rd October, he replaced Keshubhai Patel of Gujarat. So on that day, the major period was of Venus, right? Then this is, in Sanskrit it is known as Mahadasha. There are 5 periods, okay, major period, some major period, some major period, some major period. In this way there are 5 periods, okay, and these 5 periods are known as Mahadasha, Antardasha, Pratyantardasha, Sukshmadasha, and Pranadasha. So Pranadasha is the last, the 5th period. So what are those 5 periods? First was Venus period, major period of Venus for 20 years. It started in 1984. 11 October 1984. After that, for 20 years up to 2004, right? 11th October 2004. For 20 years, Venus period was running for him, or was there for him, right? Venus major period for 20 years. The largest period of planet Venus is there for 20 years. So 20 years period of Venus was he obtained in the period from 1984, 11th October 1984 to 2004, right? 11th October 2004. And after 2004, for 10 years, he got the period for 6 years, he got period of sun from 2004 to 2010, right? For 6 years, up to 11 October 2010. I'll just note down here. And after that, for 10 years, now present day, his moon period is running for 10 years, right? From 2010 to 2000, this one, 2010 to 2020, 11th October 2020, for 10 years. Moon period, major period on moon is 10 years, right? For sun it is 6 years. For Venus it is 20 years. So Venus first, he enjoyed the period of 20 years for Venus from 1984 to 2004, 20 years, right? 84 to 2004. 1984 to 2004, 11th October 2000, I'll just note down here. And after that, after 20 years, then sun period started for 6 years, from 2004 to 2010, 6 years. Okay, 4 added 6 years, that means up to 2010. From 2010, for 10 years, now moon period is running at present. And in this period, I'll just describe it how he obtained better opportunities or most appropriate opportunities of his life during these periods. I'll just talk about. But best period of one's life is of his Lagna periods. Lagna Lord, what is Lagna Lord? Ascendant Lord is Mars. So Mars period is for 7 years, which he will obtain from October, 11th October, this I have written down here, 11th October 2020 to 11 October 2027. So just to utilize this period, or you will find that this is the best period, what best opportunity of your life you will get during this period. Now, whenever this period comes, as I have seen here, I will show you that in this period he obtained this best opportunity. What are those two best opportunities? First, he became the Chief Minister of Gujarat, right? So, in 2001, on 3rd October, he replaced Keshubhai Patel as Chief Minister. Then on 7th October, I think he took the oath, but 3rd October was important day for his life. And in that period, the last period was Mars. You know, Mars is his ascendant Lord, Lagna Lord. So this period, I have written down here Venus, Mahadasha Venus, then Antardasa Mercury, again Venus, Pratyantardasa, Sukshudasa Mercury again, and then Mars, the Pranadasha, right? The last period of Mars. How these periods are defined, I'll just talk about. Venus is in years, the Mahadasha is in years for 20 years. After this, Mercury's period will be in months, Venus period, okay, in days. Mercury period in hours we can calculate, and in minutes we can calculate. Mars period, the fifth planet's period is in minutes, right? Or we can say whatever period you can find out, but this is last period. So the time is just, being decreased in up to minutes, okay? Years, months, hours, and then minutes, right? So these are the 5 years. First, years, months, hours, minutes. So taking years, months, then days. First was months, then in days, then hours and minutes. So these are the periods, major periods, how he has utilized. So on the 3rd October, this was the major period of his life. He took oath of, he replaced Keshubhai Patel on 3rd October 2001 as Chief Minister of Gujarat. So that was in Mars period. In the end, he got Mars. So this is the best period. You have just seen here that whenever a person gets the opportunity of his Lagna Lord's period or Ascendant Lord's period, that is best. But condition is that the Lagna period must be, or the Lagna Lord must be very much a strong one. I mean, if it is strong or strength, full of strength, right? It is strong or placed very positively, strong. Now, here it is. Mars is in the Lagna, Lord, or Ascendant Lord in the center, okay, in the Lagna itself, so very powerful, right? So Lagna Lord is very powerful in this case. So the period of Lagna Lord for him will be the best period of his life. Because of this only, I just predicted in 2017 when I saw the horoscope of his first time, right, in 2017, when a lot of hiccups were going on, a lot of abusive language were used by opposition leaders, right? Okay, in those days I just predicted that no, whatever the people are talking about him or this and that, number of opposition people were abusing him. Okay, abusive language they were using, like Manish Tiwari, I think, Congress leader or somebody, and then Digvijay Singh also, he took some. Okay, a lot of things they were using or abusing him. So in those period, okay, I predicted this, that he will be the Prime Minister in 2019 and 2024 also, because the best period of his life is coming from 2020 to 2027. So just utilize this period. He has to be the Chief Minister in 2019 as well as in 2024. So that I was not just coming to the light here, but this message I sent to my WhatsApp members, that can be seen very easily. I'm not denying this, because just recently I have again sent the same message to my WhatsApp members, and they have just realized. Some of them asking that what is their best period of life. Okay, so they have asked me this. That is the point, because that we can discuss later. Now come to the point. So what is the strength of his horoscope I will talk about? What kind of horoscope of Mr. Modi is there? Alright, or Prime Minister India is there. So Mr. Modi's horoscope is this. This is the Lagna horoscope, or may say Lagna chart or Kundli chart, right? Lagna Kundli. This is our birth horoscope, is this one. What are the yogas? I have seen here that there are 35 yogas formed in this horoscope. Very strong horoscope I have seen of the Prime Minister up to now. All the Prime Ministers I have seen. Nehru's horoscope, Mrs. Indira Gandhi's horoscope I have seen, right? Rajiv Gandhi's horoscope I have seen. Almost all the Prime Minister's horoscope I have seen, but this is the strongest one I have seen here. Reason is what? What is the reason here? That his horoscope is having number of very strong yogas or conjunctions of planets. What are those yogas? Let me just talk about. First yoga is that his 11 is in fixed sign. Okay, whenever a fixed sign or most of the planets are placed in the fixed signs, the person is more determined, is very deterministic. Okay, he will take the decisions, very strong decisions. Cannot falsify, cannot speak untruth things. He will speak very truthful promises. Whatever promises he will say, or he has to keep them, or he will keep them. The reason is his horoscope is in the fixed sign. 8th sign is fixed sign. This Kendra, 4th house, is also in the fixed sign. All the Kendras are in the fixed sign. So almost all the planets are placed in the fixed signs. So whenever this kind of yoga or conjunction is formed in a horoscope of a person, that person is very deterministic, very promising one. So much promising that the other people will call him as an egoistic person or that kind of person. But he is very deterministic. Whatever promises he make, those promises he will keep. This is 100% true in this case, because this horoscope is, or any native who is having this kind of horoscope, he will be very deterministic, very promising one, truthful person. He will speak very truth, right? Or he cannot tell a lie to the people. Whatever promises he keep or he will make, he has to keep them, or he will keep them, right? Very deterministic, not easily changing his views, right? He will be very deterministic. Because of that, some people will call him as, or call this kind of native as an obstinate person, that very, very fascist person type of that. Okay, that kind of, that he is keeping all the promises. Whatever promises he did, he is going to fulfill them. The person is very deterministic, very promising one. Okay, so he is a fixed person. He cannot change his views. Whatever he promised, he will, or he has promised that promises he will keep. So this is what this horoscope is. Why? Because this is the fixed sign in which two planets are placed. Fixed sign, 4th house is also fixed sign. Jupiter is placed here. Now in the 10th house, Leo sign, this is Singh Rasi, 5th sign is also fixed sign. 7th house, sign 2 is also fixed sign. The lord of 7th house is Venus, which is placed in the 10th house. So that is also placed in the fixed sign. So almost all the planets. Now Mercury and Sun, right? Those two planets. Sun is lord of 10th house, which is fixed sign, but is placed in the 11th house, but having very 0 degree. I mean, this is 0 degree. Sun is of 0 degree, 38 minutes, 48 seconds, right? 0 degree means it is just tending towards his own house, mean 10th house. So his Sun is also tending towards 10th house, means he is also occupying the 10th house, or may say that is still tending towards 10th house or his own sign, right? That means this is also placed in the 10th house. So 10th house is most powerful. Now when 10th house is most powerful, or almost all the planets or major planets or number of planets are placed in the 10th house, aspecting the 10th house, then the person is professionally very strong. The profession of that person will be of higher category. Now, his becoming Prime Minister or Chief Minister is just, because his 10th house is very strong. 10th house is aspected, or two planets are placed here. Jupiter is aspecting it, alright. Even Sun and Mercury is retrograded, so aspecting the 10th house, right? Or Sun is at very 0 degree. Mercury is also at 0 degree, I think. Mercury is also 0 degree, 43 minutes, 33 seconds, but it is retrograded. Retrograded means is turning towards or aspecting the 10th house also. 10th house is being aspected by 5 planets here. Jupiter, Venus is placed here, Saturn is placed here, and 2 more planets, Mercury and Sun. Okay, so almost all the fixed signs are being occupied by the planets, or planets are placed in the fixed signs. So this kind of yoga or conjunctions of planets is known as Mushal Yoga. Is very deterministic. The person is very deterministic, very truthful, promising one, determined one, will keep his promises. Whatever promises he will make, he will promise, he will fulfill them. So fulfilling, promising person. So promises are being fulfilled by this person, or whosoever, this kind of native who is born or who is having this kind of horoscope will be a very deterministic person, very promising one, truthful person, right? Cannot tell a lie. In this case, Jupiter is in the 4th house. 4th house is also very powerful. So this 4th house represents the promotion, the positions, right? Saturn is aspecting its own sign. The Kumbh Rasi, or this Aquarius sign, is lorded by Saturn. Saturn is aspecting from 10th house to 7th aspect of Saturn. Saturn is aspecting its own house, means this 4th house. 4th house is giving positions. So position is being uplifted. So position is given by this one. And even 10th house is what you call profession house. Means the profession of a person is very of highest degree or higher degree. So 5th sign, Sun is the lord of 10th house, which is just having 0 degrees, turning towards 10th house. So whatever which planets are more promising one, more positive one, in this case 10th lord, Lagna lord, even 7th lord, 4th lord also, Saturn. Okay, so all these planets, all central lords or Kendra lord, because 7th lord is 7th house is 10th from 10th, so is showing what you call the profession side, day to day, even so day to day jobs, profession of day to day, daily life promises, or the work which is presented daily, that work is presented by 7th house. And 7th house is known as 10th from 10th. Why? Because 10th house is this things Leo sign, 10th house. From 10th house is 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th. So 7th house is 10th from 10th. So whatever, if 10th house is 7th house is very what you call a strong one, that means the profession of a person of daily or day-to-day work will be very strong one. Okay, so when Venus period run, right, when he was having, or when he had Venus period is, let me write here the period. Now first of all, okay, let me talk about our period later, but first let me talk about what is the strength of his horoscope. The horoscope, the moon is in the ascendant, means Lagna. Moon is 9th lord. What I talked about, that moon period is running at the moment, and when Mars and Moon both are placed in the Lagna or ascendant. Mars is Lagna Lord, means ascendant Lord, is very strong here. Moon is debilitated in the Scorpio sign, this 8th sign. Moon is debilitated, means is going to be in the lowest sign, but it's lowest sign or debilitated sign, but because the Lord of that house or that sign is placed here, right, and that is that exaltation. The planet is now, that's known as Neech Bangaraj Yoga, means his debilitation is cancelled. Debilitation, when a planet's debilitation is cancelled, it becomes exalted. So exaltation, right, is obtained by Moon. So Moon is exalted in this case. And secondly, why this Neech Bangaraj Yoga? Because Lagna Lord, the Lord of the sign in which Moon is placed, the Lord of that sign is also placed with it, right, with Moon. Mars is placed with the Moon, so it is Neech Bangaraj Yoga. One thing is second Neech Bangaraj Yoga is this, that Moon is debilitated, his debilitation sign, debilitation degree is 3 degree, but here Moon's degree is 9 degree. Moon is at 9 degree 36 minutes 58 seconds. That means Moon's debilitation degree is crossed by Moon, so it is not debilitated. Actually, it is not debilitated, right? But it is Lord of 9th house. The 4th sign, Cancer sign, is in the 9th house, right? This is the 9th house here, 4th sign, Cancer sign, right? Lord of Cancer sign is Moon. Moon is 9th Lord, is placed in the Lagna, ascendant, is Lagna Lord, very strong position. So in 9th house or Bhagya house, this destiny house, 9th house known as destiny, or Lagna means Bhagya sign, okay, or Bhagya house. We say this house is destiny house, right? Destiny represented by Cancer here, the Moon. The Moon is 9th house Lord, that means Bhagya house Lord or destiny Lord. Destiny is very powerful of this person, right, of this native. Destiny is very powerful, is presented by Moon, and Moon is placed in the with the Lagna. When Lagna Lord or ascendant Lord is very strong, is powerful, and 9th Lord is also very powerful, and if this position of any person's house is there or any person's horoscope is there, in any horoscope of a person or in any native's horoscope, if ascendant Lord is very strong or having power, right, 9th Lord is also very powerful, and both are powerful, then these two are giving the person everlasting prosperity. Everlasting prosperity means the person's prosperity will increase day by day. This is what is promised, and for that I have written down here the Sanskrit slok here, Sanskrit verse here. What is that Sanskrit verse? Bhavat Nrapati Mukhyo. Bhavat Nrapati Mukhyo means the person will become king of kings, means main person or the the main among the kings or king of kings, you may say. The Bhavat Nrapati Mukhyo Bhagya Lagnadinathu. Bhagya means destiny house, Bhagya Lagnadinathu. The Lord of destiny house means 9th house, and the Lagna house means ascendant Lord. The ascendant Lord and 9th Lord means destiny house, Bhagya Lagnadinathu. Yadi Bala Sahito Chet. Both are powerful, both have power, they are very strongly placed, right? Then Saswat Aishwarya Yukta. The person will be always have prosperity. Saswat Aishwarya Yukta. Always the person will remain Aishwarya Yukta. Aishwarya Yukta means prosper. Always prosperity will be there with the person. Prosperity means in this case day by day the person will become very famous or very prosper, right? So prosperity is always promised. This one horoscope, this one, what do you call, conjunction of the planets, 9th Lord and 11th Lord, both are powerful, both are placed together, both are friends, because Mars and Moon are friends. Sun, Mars, Moon and Jupiter. These four are known as Daivagana, right, or godly planets, or they are known as gods, right? Devtagan, right? Devgan. Devgan, they are Devgan, or they are friendly signs, or they are friendly planets. Whenever their period will come, they will be very fruitful, right? Or they will what you call add in their results. Mostly they are very, because they are closely friends or they are close friends, right? So Mars, Moon, Sun and Jupiter. Jupiter is aspect in 9th house, but it is 12th house, 9th aspect, 7th, 8th, 9th. Now let me talk about other things. So this is most powerful. Reason is 9th Lord and 11th Lord both are powerful. First I talked about Mushal Yoga, that means all the fixed signs, all the planets are placed in the fixed signs. These two, Sun and Mercury, Rahu Ketu are not considered as major planet, but they are Chaya Graha or sensitive points, right? Other than Rahu Ketu, we talk about those 7 planets. What are those 7 planets? Mars, Moon, Jupiter, Saturn, Venus and Sun and Mercury, right? Except Rahu and Ketu. So these 7 planets must be placed in fixed signs, right? So majority of them is placed in the fixed sign. Even Sun and Mercury, Mercury is aspecting the fixed sign, 10th house, and Sun is having 0 degree, is also tending towards 10th house, means its own house, sing sign or sing rasi, is Leo sign. So Leo sign is being aspected by Sun, right? Because Sun is having 0 degree, is being tending towards Leo sign. So 10th house is occupied by these 4 planets, or aspected by 4 planets: Saturn, Venus, Mercury, Sun, as well as Jupiter, aspecting by 7th aspect. So 10th house is very powerful, most powerful. This kind of horoscope is very strong, very powerful. As I see, very rare type of horoscope is this, because very, very powerful. Now in this case, so whenever this periods of 10th Lord means Sun, 11th Lord Mars, Moon is 9th Lord, Moon period is still running, because it is up to 2020, 11th October 2020, up to that period. From 2010, for 10 years Moon period is running at present. So Moon period is also very positive. You have seen here, right? Because he became the Prime Minister in after 2014, right? In the same period of Moon, he has become the Prime Minister. So Moon's period, he became Prime Minister, because since 2010 Moon period is running. So in 14 he became Prime Minister. Again 2019 he became Prime Minister. 2 times he has become Prime Minister. Means in the period of Moon. Moon is 9th Lord, very strong one. They are placed in the with ascendant Lord. So he is very strong, very powerful. 9th Lord is powerful, running the period of it is running at the moment, right? Second thing, now period of 11th Lord, and before that Venus period was, Sun period was there, 10th house Lord period was there from 2004 to 2010. So during that period also he became Chief Minister of Gujarat again, right? And after 2001 or 2002 he became again Prime Minister, right? During that period, in 2007 or somewhere, I think 2002 to 2007, then again he became Chief Minister. So that is, during that period of 10th Lord. So the Sun period has gone for 6 years, from 4 to 2010. From 2010 to 2020, the period of Moon is being running, or is being run at the moment, presently running. So that period is also very positive, means better period. So 2 better periods of Sun's period, Moon's period he has opted. Even Venus period, because Venus is influencing the 10th house and is Lord of 7th house, Lord of 12th house. So as a Lord of 10th house, 7th house, 10th from 10th, it has given positive results. But he became the Chief Minister first time in Gujarat 2001, right? So in 2001, but one bad event happened in his period, that the Gujarat riots happened, but that has also given not some negative point, but that negative sign, because of this destiny sign, means Lagna Lord, 9th Lord, Moon. So Moon's period has, due to almost all kinds of what you call abusive language used by people, will be beneficial for him. Reason is indirectly he will be benefited because of this Neech Vangaraj Yoga. Moon's period, because destiny is very powerful, very supportive to him, because the destiny period is running at the moment, or moon is very powerful. Whenever the yes friend, so I'm talking about your horoscope of Mr. Modi, the Prime Minister of India today. Okay, at the moment he is the Prime Minister of India. Now problem is that whatever I've talked about up to now, let me continue from there. Okay, so in the first lecture, the previous one, I've just talked about that what is the time period of his, and one event I just discussed about that in 2001, on 3rd October, you have seen here the first event I've talked about, that in the period of major period of Venus, then Mercury, okay, Mahadasha, Antardasha, Pradandasha, Sushodasha, Prandasha. So Prandasha, the last period, or the period in the minutes you may say, was of Mars. This is very important. I've just told you about that most of the important planets of a person or native in his horoscope or her horoscope is of his Lagna Lord, if it is very strong and powerful. Now in this case, the Lagna Lord or the Ascendant Lord Mars is very powerful in his own sign, or in his own sign, with Moon, the friendly planet. Moon is 9th Lord also. As I have already described, that Moon is Destiny Lord or Bhagya Lord or 9th Lord. 9th Lord is known as, 9th house is known as Destiny House, Bhagya House. So due to luck, due to destiny, the person will get opportunities. Okay, due to luck will favor him. Even if any problem comes to him, comes to his life, as I have talked about already, that the two planets, Lagna Lord and the Moon, the 9th Lord, in this case the Moon, which is the 9th Lord, Bhagya House, and Bhagya Lord or Lagna Lord, and Lagna Lord. These two are powerful. They are very strong planets. Then what will happen? The person will remain always with astrology. His prosperity will increase day by day. That is how prosperous person will be there. Okay, this is how his every stage will be with increasing prosperity. So that is how I have already described. Now come to the point. So the second event, why I am showing that this period will be best period for his life. This is from 11/10/2020 to 11/10/2027. So the 7 years, this 7 years period of Mars period will be very beneficial for him, or the best period of his life. The reason is, it is very strong planet, Lagna Lord, Ascendant Lord, which always gives a very favorable events or favorable period for the person. Now in this case, what is the one of the minor problem is that Mars is aspecting the 4th house also. So during this period, maybe mother's house is disturbed, means 4th house is disturbed minutely, because it is but Jupiter is there. So Jupiter and Saturn is also very powerful. Saturn is aspecting its own house, the 4th house, okay, because 11th sign, which is known as Aquarius sign or Kumbh Rasi. Aquarius sign is aspected by Saturn. Saturn is the lord of this, from the 10th house, 7th aspect, right? So Jupiter is placed there in the 4th house. So this, okay, something is disturbed in case of mother's house, okay, during this period, because during that period, Mars period will be there. So whenever some problem will come out, okay, that I'll talk about later. But in this problem, this period, mother's house is some minutely disturbed, right? So that is there. Only this one event, and other events will be very favorable to him. That is the point here. Now come to next thing. That second event, as I have told you, that why this period will be very favorable to him, or best period of his life. The reason is, the second, I always talk about this, because I have researched upon this a number of times. Number of horoscopes, innumerable horoscopes I have always talked about, that whenever the period of one's ascendant lord, if ascendant lord is very powerful in his own sign, exalted, whatever, if it is favorable to the horoscope, then the best period of one's life is of ascendant lord. In this case, ascendant lord is very favorable, strong, okay, aspected by or conjuncted by moon. Moon is a friendly sign or is a friendly planet. So, and that is also destiny house. I mean, lot of destiny house, very favorable to the Lagna Lord. So, Lagna Lord period will be very good period for him, or best period of his life. Now, come to the point. Second event, when he took oath of Prime Minister in 2014, one of the major events, second major event of his life. First event was he replaced Mr. Keshubai Patel as the Chief Minister of Gujarat in 2001 on 3rd October 2001. So that period was finally ending period was of Mars. Means Mars was in the ending period. Means Pranadasa of Mars was there. In the same period, see here that on 26th May 2014, again Mars was in the ending period, right? Mars, the 11th Lord, it has given him favorable event. So the favorable position of Mars is obvious from these two major events of his life. Okay, this is how we can just understand this. Whenever anybody's horoscope having the period of his 11th Lord or ascendant Lord, maybe 10th Lord also, 4th Lord also, 7th Lord also, because 7th Lord is aspecting, if 7th Lord is very powerful and is aspecting the Lagna, okay, the ascendant Lord, both are friendly sign then. So number of conditions are there, but in this case this is the best period. Okay, now come to the so second event, and these two major events of his life, they have happened in the period of Mars. In the end, the Lagna Lord is Mars. So Mars period has given him two major events of his life. First of Chief Ministership, second is of being the Prime Minister of India. First time he took oath on 26th May 2014. So that period was of Moon, because Moon period was running from this. I have written here major periods. Venus, 20 years for Venus was running from, or reign for him, the time period was from 11th October 1984 to 11th October 2004, 20 years. For 20 years from 84 to 2014, 2004, Venus period he utilized. Now in this period, or during this period, what happened? Let me just talk about what this horoscope is talking about. This horoscope is giving us that during this period he must have, okay, because Venus is 7th Lord, which is 10th from 10th. Okay, so he, in the ending period of this, he got Chief Ministership. Finally he has given, because Venus is influencing the 10th house, which is professional house of profession, house of one's profession, what profession one will adopt in his life. That house is aspected or is placed here. Venus is placed in the 10th house. Okay, and this is Sun's house. Okay, Sun is Lord of 10th house, and Sun is also at the 0 degree, but aspecting tending towards the 10th house. Okay, so Venus gave him Chief Ministership in ending period, but beginning of this period from 84 to 2004, he might have got a lot of wondering why. Because Venus is 12th Lord also, 12th Lord, the Libra sign is 12th Lord and 7th Lord. 12th Lord and 7th Lord, Venus is owning two signs, Taurus sign, second number sign or Taurus, and Libra sign, 7th sign, which is 12th house. So 12th house and 7th house, these two houses are owned by Venus. So Venus, when its period was running or reigned for him from 84 to 2004, he might have wandered, because 12th house represent the foreign visits. Okay, he might have visited number of countries. Foreign visits doesn't only mean that a person has to go for foreign country out of his own country. No, but birthplace, a person's birthplace, away from that birthplace, the person might have wandered, right? So during these 20 years of his life, he might have wandered throughout the country, maybe, because other than his own state, right? And maybe in foreign country also. I do not know how many visits during this period, 20 years of his period, he went to foreign countries. I do not know about them, but he might have gone there. This is indicated from this house, okay? Because during Venus period, he might have wandered from, because 12th house was foreign visits also. Foreign visits means a person's away from birthplace, whatever his birthplace, anybody's birthplace is there, the person might have gone out of his birthplace, maybe the whole country, India, he might have visited, okay, or traveled all over the country, or maybe the foreign country also. Foreign country mostly, okay, indicated by the 12th house. So 12th house. Secondly, 12th house is aspected by Saturn also, third aspect. Why? Because Saturn is in the 10th house. So first, second and third. So third aspect, Saturn is aspecting the third aspect to the 12th house, okay, which is Libra sign. In the Libra sign, Saturn is exalted. So Saturn has given power to the 12th house. 12th house is exalted one. Why? Because Saturn is aspecting Libra sign, and in Libra sign Saturn is exalted. So exaltation of 12th house is very much there. His visits in the foreign countries will be very fruitful, very powerful. Why? Because 12th house is exalted. Saturn is aspecting it, and Jupiter is also aspecting Jupiter by 9th aspect. Jupiter is in the 4th house, from 4th to 10th, 7 signs, 7 places, and the 11th house is 8th place, and 9th aspect or 9th drishti, you may say, because Jupiter aspects 7th house, 9th house, and 5th house. 5th house is 8th house, right? From Jupiter. Jupiter is posited or located in 4th house. From 4th house, Jupiter is also aspecting the 12th house. So his visits will be always fruitful, or during that period also, his visits would always be or might always be very fruitful in those days, right? And during this period also, because Saturn is always aspecting this 12th house in the birth horoscope of his, Saturn is aspecting the 12th house, which is the exaltation sign for Saturn. So 12th house is exalted one. What does it mean? That means that his foreign visits are many, but all those foreign visits will be fruitful, will be exalted one, very, very fruitful, very positive one, fruitful and very positive to the country, or if he is visiting for himself also, the visits will be foreign traveling of his will be very beneficial, because Jupiter is also aspecting 12th house. So Jupiter will give him benefic sign, or beneficence will be created from foreign travels. That is indicated there. So during these 20 years of his period, okay, or Venus period from 1884 to 2004, he might have traveled all over the country, maybe foreign travels also he might have done during this period. Second thing, the complication. Foreign travels are always there because Saturn is always aspecting, Jupiter is also aspecting. Whenever the period of Saturn-Jupiter combination will come, and the foreign travel will indicate, and those dates can be noted down. I can just calculate them very easily. If I just calculate all the periods of this, of his from the beginning, from his birth date, that is not required here because I have taken only from Venus period. Because Anuradha Nakshatra is owned by Saturn. Okay, Saturn, why? Ashwini, Bharani, Kritika, Rohini, Mrisa, Ardra, Punvashu, Pusha, Atlesha, Magha, Purufani, Uttarfani, Hasta, Chitra, Swati, Vishakha, Anuradha. So Anuradha Nakshatra, in which the native is born, in which Mr. Modi is born, Anuradha Nakshatra is owned by Saturn. Why? Because KBS and Moon, Rahu, Chand, Mangal, Moon, Mars, Chandra, Mangal and Rahu, and then Chandra, Mangal and Rahu, then Jupiter and Saturn, and then Mercury. So Saturn owns Anuradha Nakshatra. So he is born in the Nakshatra of, Anuradha Nakshatra of Saturn, owned by Saturn. So Saturn is more influencing his life. Saturn is giving him powerful because 10th Lord, 10th occupation of Saturn is there with Venus. Jupiter is also aspecting Saturn and Venus both. So all the Kendras, are very much powerful in this case. So that means he is given. So first thing I just indicated that how Mars is powerful in his life. Okay, so Mars has given him two important events of his life. Okay, during Mars period. Okay, Mars was ending period. Whenever Mars period will come, in the beneficial sign. Here it was Venus. The Venus ending period of Mars was there. This I have check number of events of his. Whenever Mars period comes, he will get good opportunity. Okay. Now during this, that also I checked that when he inaugurated or laid the foundation of what you call Ayodhya temple, Ram temple. During that period, it was moon, I think Mercury in the end. Mercury is also in the 11th lord with sun the 10th lord. So 10th lord with Mercury. So Mercury also has given him auspicious time, right? Mercury, because Mercury is with sun, and that is known as Buddha-Aditya Yoga, right? Buddha-Aditya Yoga always give good opportunity to the person. Now come to the point. So sun, very beneficial to the Lagna lord, because sun is friendly to Mars, moon is friendly to Mars, Jupiter is friendly to Mars, and Saturn and Venus both are posited in the 10th house. So they are also giving positive sign, because Saturn is aspecting the 12th house, which is exaltation sign. Foreign travel stoppage will be very fruitful, very exalted one, very much highlighted one, because 12th lord is exalted. Okay, so 12th sign is exalted, 12th house is exalted. Okay, 12th is representing foreign travels. Now come to the point. So these two major events showing that Mars is very beneficial. So when the Mars period will run, which is I have written down here. So Venus period for 20 years. This is for 20 years. I have noted down. Sun for 6 years. Moon for 10 years. Is currently running from 11-10-2010 to 11-10-2020. Means 2020. This year it will end on 11th October. Right. From 11th October, I just take 11th October, then you may say that why 11th October, so maybe middle of this 11th October. 11th October, 11, 10, 22, 2020 or 2022, 2027. For 7 years, Mars period will be for 7 years. Rahu period will be for 18 years, because up to 45, it will be for 18 years. Rahu period is for 18 years. Ketu period is for 7 years only, right? So total period of these 9 planets, we take 9 planets, Ketu, Rahu, Ketu also included, right? The total period is for 120 years. So this is known as Bimshotri Dasha, period. Why Bimshotri? Because Shat means 100 and Bim means 20. So 120 years of the life of the person. So during this period, 120 years of period, the circulation is there. Okay. Some say that when person dies, the next period which is left over will be utilized by him, or in the next birth. This is how Vedic astrology or Vedic people, they believed in a rebirth. Rebirth is happening, that is true. So the rebirth is there. Now come to the point. So 18 years for Rahu, he will get from 27 to 1945. After that, after Rahu, what period will be there? Guru, Jupiter for 16 years then. Jupiter's period will be from 45 to for 16 years, maybe then 61, I think, yeah, 61. 16 years if I add, it will be then 61, up to 61, 16 period. So that is how period is added up, and major period, this is major period. And within that period, we calculate, because if I calculate all these tables or timetable, that is easily done, no problem at all, because periods are known to us, we can calculate them, divide them into this months, days, hours and minutes. So Mars has given the two major opportunities of life. So I wanted to just show that how Mars is beneficial for him. Now come to the next point, that he is born in different things are there. What are those different things? I have noted down here that his birthday is daytime. He was, because time of birth is 12:21 hours, afternoon period, 12:21 hours. This is daytime birth. Sunday was the day, right? Paksh was Shukul Paksha, right? So this is Shukul Paksha. Then Yoga was Vishkamba Yoga, right? And its results are also positive, very auspicious one. Vishkam Yoga is there. The nakshatra is Anubhadra Nakshatra, I have already talked about. Second quarter of Anubhadra Nakshatra he is born. The second quarter means he might have obtained initially when he was born. He might have taken, because there are 4 quarters. So if I divide 19 years of Saturn, because Saturn is the lord of Anvada Nakshatra. So initially he got Saturn's period. Saturn's period for how many years? It may be, because if it is a second quarter in middle or after that, so if I divide 19 years into 4 quarters, or half is 8.5 years, right? Sorry, 9.5 years. 9 to the 18, 9.5. So 9.5 years is half. So 9.5, then half of that is 4.25 to 4, quarter to 5. Okay, so that period, quarter to 5 and 9 and 8. So about how many years? If I just subtract 4 and quarter to 5 from 19, so about 14 years, right? About 14 and 14 years initially he got of Saturn. 14 years of Saturn he got initially. Okay, so Saturn, then after that, what are the periods here? After Saturn, because Mercury was there. After Saturn, Mercury's period you might have obtained. Okay, then Ketu, 7 years, then Venus. So these 3 periods he might have already utilized in his life. Okay, in the childhood period he got Saturn's period, because beginning was from Saturn's period. Because Anvada Nakshatra, he is born in Anvada Nakshatra second quarter. So initially he might have obtained for 14 or 15 years of period he might have taken for Saturn, right? Then Mercury's 17 years of Mercury, then Ketu 7 years, 7 and 17, right? 24, and Saturn 15 years. So all those periods he might have already utilized in the beginning. So what periods were there, that I'm not going to talk about, because these periods can be easily talked about, because they are representing different houses. So that also I can talk about, but I'm not going to talk about that, because that is just wasting of time. I'm not going to point. Now he is born in 37th samachar. This I considered very better one. I mean, very good, very influencing event of one's life is samachar. This is very much important. I'll talk about samachara, how samachara is calculated. Samachara means there are 60 samachara our rishis have created, Vedic rishis have created, or they have calculated how samachara is calculated. They are very much influencing the life of a person. How? For samachara are, how 60 samachara are there, I've already talked about something about this, that 12 years of Jupiter and 30 years of Saturn, right? 30 years, in 30 years Jupiter, Saturn, complete the zodiac, or 12 signs are crossed by Saturn in 30 years, because in one sign Saturn takes 2.5 years, 2.5 years, right? So 2.5 years per sign, so 12 signs are there, so 12 to 24, 24 plus 6, 30. So 30 years, in 30 years Saturn complete the zodiac, means 12 signs are crossed by Saturn, and 12 years are taken by Jupiter. 1 year, average 1 year for one sign. So in 1 year, Jupiter crosses one sign. So in 12 years, whole 12 signs are crossed, or complete zodiac is completed by, zodiac is crossed by or completed by, right, by Jupiter. So 12 years of Jupiter and 30 years of Saturn. So if I take LCM of these two, 12 and 30, so 12 and 30 LCM is 60. So in these 60 years, what are the rays of Jupiter and Saturn, conjuncting each other when Saturn and Jupiter enters in the Aries sign, first Aries sign, 0 degree Aries sign, when they enter together. After 60 years again they will come in the Aries. So in every sign, wherever the in the horoscope or person's horoscope, the 2 planets are situated, after 60 years the same condition of the position of Jupiter and Saturn will repeat, you may say. Because, so these are the sammatsaras. How sammatsara is calculated, I'll just talk about that. So his sammatsara is 37th sammatsara. 37th sammatsara. Even names suggest that what kind of person will be, right? Sometimes, I don't know how they have given these names. The rishis have given the names of the samvatsara, and the names of samvatsara, they speak about the person's quality, the person's virtues, the person's personality, right? The personality is defined by samvatsara. So how this samvatsara defines the personality of Mr. Modi or the current native year? So the samvatsara, 37 samvatsara is Shobhanakrat samvatsara. Shobhanakrat or Sobhen samvatsara or Sobhankrat samvatsara. Shobhanakrat means the person will do auspicious activities. The person's activities will be very auspicious, very good one, beneficial to the society, beneficial to all the people. This is our Sobhanakrata. And Sobhanakrata samvatsara, he is born 37 samvatsara. How samvatsara calculated? I'll just define here after some time. Okay, so I'll define that after some time, that how samvatsara is calculated. For example, suppose you know about your own year of birth, then in that year of birth add 57 years, because this is Bikram Samvatsara. So we have to first calculate Bikram Samvatsara. What is your Bikram Samvatsara? If your Christian era is known to you, I mean years is known to you. For example, he is born in 1950. 1950 he is born. 1950 plus 57 plus 10 years. 9 plus 1, 10 years also added up. How those 10 years are added up, I will talk about samvatsaras, and I will talk about them in the lecture series, third lecture series or maybe fourth lecture series. I will talk about them. That is, I will clarify there how 10 is added up. This 37 samvatsara, anybody can calculate or can find out that in which samvatsara a person is born. Then find the quality of that samvatsara. Read those qualities from given the Sanhitas or scriptures, astrological, scriptures written by Rishi. Vedic scriptures are written by Rishis, and in those Vedic scriptures you can find that what the qualities of that samvatsara, and those qualities are mostly obvious, clearly given in that person. So in this case, 37th samvatsara is Shobhan samvatsara, Shobhanakrit samvatsara. What is Shobhanakrit samvatsara? Let me talk about this. Shobhanakrit samvatsara is Sharvo Unnat Charu Guno Dayalu Sammas. It says Sharvo Unnat Charu Guno Dayalu Shatkarma Karta Vijayi Visheshat. I will define that in English also. Kanto Benita Shubhadrakki Pravino Yah Shobhakrit Shobha Kradat Sara Sambhav Syat. Samvatsara Syat or Sambhav Syat means the person who is born in this samvatsara will be Sarvo Unnat Char. Now some define it as that he will have all kind of prosperity. No, he says Sarvo Unnat, all kinds of prosperity he will give to others. Sarvo Unnat is Char Guno Dayalu, and he will be all kinds of virtues. He will have virtuous person. He will be Dayalu means kind or kind-hearted person. He will be, or the person will be, and Sat Karma Karta. Now again, his acts will be very virtuous one. His acts will be very auspicious one, very fruitful one. Okay, or means very auspicious. Not any bad activity he will do in his life. Means he will not hurt others. He always do auspicious activities to others. Vijayi Visheshat, and he will be victorious in all fields of his life. Right? He will be victorious in all fields of his life, means whatever venture he will do, in that he will be victorious. Vijayi Visheshat. Kanto Vinita. Kanto means very brilliant, he will be. Vinita means he will be very kind to others. His speech will be very, very kind, kindful you may say, or Vinita, he will be very kind to others, or speaking will be very positive one, okay, will be very beneficial to others. Vinita, the person is very kind, okay, at his speaking, right, kindfully speaking there. Shubhadrakhi Pravino, and his drashti or sight will be Shubhadrakhi. His drakhi means drashti here or sight. His sight will be very auspicious, Shubh, right, good drashti. His sight will be very good to others. In this case, we are always, because Shobhan Krata means the activity of person will be very Shubh. Shobhan means very auspicious one, okay, beneficial to others. That is Shubh. Okay, so after defining his samvatsara, I'm just talking about the how. So his samvatsara is his born is very auspicious samvatsara. Now you will say that how every person in 1 year, almost number of people, thousands, crores of people are born. So, but almost all these kinds of virtues will be found in that person. Now, that person's level, because of placement of the planets, the person's life will be maybe of limited resources or middle level type of resources or upper level type of or high level of resources he might have. Whatever resources he will have, the person will be very auspicious in his activities, very kind, Shwata karma karta, means his activities will be or his karmas will be very auspicious, very auspicious, sat karma karta, very good activities he will do or very beneficial activities for others he will do. This is Sat Karma Karta, Vijayi Visheshat. Vijayi Visheshat means the person will be very victorious in all fields of his life. This is this. Kanto means very brilliant, he will have brilliance he will have. Brilliance means in all the, thinking will be very powerful, he will be very, can think about his future from distant level. Distant future can be thought about by him. He can remember always. His memory will be very sharp. So, Kanto, Vinita, and very kind person. His speech will be, or his speaking will be very good to others. Means not hurting others, but very much positive to others. Always speaking kind words to others. Now come to the point. Shubhadrakya. And now, because 8th sign, the Scorpio sign is in the Lagna or Mars is there, undoubtedly his speaking will be what we call very much, comparing the person with a different kind of examples and this and that. Okay. So that person, speaking will be, his speaking in this case is very beneath. Beneath means very kind, very auspicious to others. Shubhadrakya Pravino. And Shubhadrakya Pravino means his sight will be very auspicious one, show, kindful or very kind. Or you will not find, mostly not thinking about others' mistakes and this and that, always doing his own activities. This is how Shubhadrakya Pravino. And Pravino means he will be very much powerful, or Pravin means very active in all fields. Pravin means in this case powerful. Very much powerful. Pravino. Shubhadrakya Pravino, and his sight will be very auspicious one, good one. Shobhakrat Sara Sambhava Sha. All these activities will be possible in his life. This is how this samvatsara, 37 samvatsara. Now how samvatsara is calculated, let me just give you some hint of this, right? So that one can find out. Now in this case he is born in Devagana. About Devagana, let me just define all these things, then I'll talk about that how samvatsara is calculated, just as I've defined. Then let me just define here. Now this 37 samvatsara, which is Shobhanakrata, this name is Shobhanakrata samvatsara. Shobhanakrata or Shobhena samvatsara. In some books it is given Shobhin and some say Shobhanakrata. Both names are given. Shobhanakrata means his activities of Krata. Activities will be very Shobhan, auspicious one. This is obvious that he is always thinking about all the people of the country as a prime minister. Or even in his political life, he has not done anything wrong to others. Always thinking about country, always doing auspicious things, positive things to others, thinking about the poor people. Alright, so this is how auspicious things he will do. Because samvatsara is like this. As I have seen that most of the people's samvatsara, I have seen that samvatsaras are defining the person. Why? Because two major planets, Saturn and Jupiter, their rays are every year very influencing one. They are influencing the native who is born in that year. And those rays are always effective in his full life or whole life, right? That whole life is influenced by the rays of those two planets, and this is, I have found, very effective, very positive one, or very much useful one. But mostly I find that in which samvatsara a person is born, and from that very samvatsara I can understand that where the position of the Saturn and Jupiter will be there. And due to this position here, samvatsara, Jupiter is aspecting Saturn, Saturn is aspecting Jupiter. They are opposite to each other in this case. And because of that, they are this very auspicious samvatsara, right? So this kind of samvatsara, positive, position of Jupiter and Saturn gives us samvatsara, particular samvatsara. This is how samvatsara are defined. So I'll just talk about that. Now come to the point that how samvatsara is calculated. We just define this also. Now this two major events I've talked about already. So let me remove this now. Okay, the period which is these two major events of becoming Chief Minister of Gujarat. On 3rd October he replaced Keshubai Patel. 3rd October, 7th October I think he took oath. On that day, particular day, Rahu was there. Rahu is in the 5th house. Or Jupiter's sign. Pisces sign is there. 12th sign is there. Pisces sign. Rahu is also positive because in Guru's sign they say that Guru's sign, Jupiter's sign, which is this Mercury, and Sagittarius also. Sagittarius and Pisces. These two signs are owned by Jupiter. So in Jupiter's sign, because Rahu is positive, considered positive, right? So in the 5th house is giving diplomacy to the person in this case. Rahu posited in 12th house or in the 5th house or 12th sign, Pisces sign, is giving very much diplomacy to the person. Person will be very diplomatic. Diplomat means a good politician. Thinking about from distant things he can think about. He can imagine about almost all kinds of events in regarding the politics, right? So this is how Rahu has given him diplomacy, very diplomatic nature. Now come to the point. So this is how samvatsara is defined. Now let me talk about how samvatsara of a person is calculated. For example, in this case I have taken, let me take 1950 here. He is born in 1950 year. 1950 year is the date of birth of his, right? Year of birth. Now plus we add here 57 years. Now it has turned it into Bikram Samvatsara, right? Bikram era. Plus we add here 9 plus 1, 10. We add here 10. Let me take 10 here. 9 plus 10 is always added up after this, making it into Bikram era or Bikram Samvatsara. We can take Bikram year, right? Bikram year is 1950. Whatever Christian era or Christian year is given, add 57 to that, it turns it into Bikram Samvatsara or Bikram year. So Bikram year is this, Bikram Samvatsara is this. Now plus add 10, now divided by 60. So whatever remainder comes, that remainder will give the name of the Samvatsara. What is the number of Samvatsara? In this case it will be 57 is 67, so let me add 67 here. 10 plus 57 is 67. Add 67 here, this is 7. 5 plus 6 is 11, 1, and this is 20, 17. If I divide it by 16, right? So whatever quotient comes, quotient doesn't matter. Only remainder will give us that what is the remainder. That remainder is the number of samvatsara. Now divide it by 60. If I multiply this by 33, let me multiply this by 33. So 6, 0, 0, 6, 3 are 18, 8, 1, 6, 3 is 18 and 1, 19, 1980. Now if I subtract 1980 from 1980 from 2017, what is the remainder then? So subtract this 7, 11 minus 8 is 30, 3. 11 minus 8 is 3, and this is 7, 37th. The 37th is the samvatsara, right? If suppose any person is born in 1960, then 10 is added up here, that will be 47 then, okay? That way we calculate this. So this is the process, how to calculate. Divide by 60, the number of your Bikram year, and then add 10 there, plus 10, okay, and divide it by 60. So that will give us your number of samvatsara, particular samvatsara. This I will just define the names of each samvatsara. I will put 60 samvatsara and what are their characteristics. I will define that in one of the lectures of mine regarding astrology, okay, Vedic astrology. So that is very important one, and you will just find yourself that yeah, these qualities are found in a person. And even I have found most of the these samvatsara are very very fruitful, very effective, defining one. The names are defining a person's personality. I have seen that. Okay, now come to the next point. Now what are these things? So Anuradha Nakshatra I have talked about. Now in the Anuradha Nakshatra, a person is very much, again, very brilliant, or okay, all kinds of this. Anuradha Nakshatra is also very positive because it's a Devgana. Anuradha Nakshatra is, there are 3 kinds of Nakshatras. 9 Nakshatras are in Devgana, 9 are in Manushyagana, right? And 9 are in Rakshasagana. Now I think that astrologically, mostly, the people's personality or native's personality is defined. Okay, a person is a Brahmin, is a Kshatriya, is a Vaishya or whatever. Okay, so that quality, I think, initially the rishis defined a person's native or native's quality, native's virtues by astrologically only, not by birth and this and that. Later, the Brahmins are, they are Kshatriya, there. These kinds of castes have, come out. But initially, astrologically, the person's personality is defined as a Brahmin. He is a Brahmin Varna. His Varna is, in this case, Brahmin. You can see the activity of Mr. Modi. He is always just like acting like a Brahmana. Okay, Brahmin's activity. What are the Brahmin's activity? Okay, doing worshipping. Okay, always reading, writing, reading the scriptures as well, respecting gurus or his teachers. Whoever is teaching him, is giving him knowledge, he will respect that person, right? Always respecting his teachers. So this is how. So the respecting teachers, right? Whosoever has given him knowledge or good thing, he will respect him, that person. So that is how a person is respectful. Brahmins, whatever Brahmins activities are there, the rishis have defined the Brahmins activities, whatever. But now people are say that okay, the boy is born in a Brahmin family, so he is a Brahmin. No, I have found that person's activities are different from Brahmin's activities, right? So we cannot say that, and a person born in a Shudra family is working like a Brahmin. So I think astrologically, if we define, that is the actual thing. A person will act like a Brahmin, like a Kshatriya, like a Shudra, like a Vaishya. His person's business, he is a businessman, or he is a Shudra, or he is a what kind of person will be, is defined astrologically very clearly, right? And that is the actual thing a person's nativity defines, right? Is defined. So that is being defined astrologically. I think initially rishis formed all these kind of things through the astrology, right? He is a Brahmin born, or he is a Kshatriya born, the person will have. Okay, so his basic attitude is just like a Brahmin. He will worshipping type, always doing worshipping, or that will give him all kinds of, what you call good things. Publicity will be given to him due to these activities, just like a Brahmin. So his Varna is Brahmin. He is born as a Varna, Brahmin Varna. This is how astrologically defined. Devgana is his Nakshatra. Quality of Nakshatra is Devgana, right? So because his Anuradha Nakshatra he is born. So Devgana Nakshatra is Anuradha Nakshatra. So he is born is Devgana. Nadi is Madhya. That is, these things are utilized at the time of a person's marriage. Okay, so because we always match the the horoscopes of the two persons. Okay, the two partners, whosoever you are marrying. Even a person is going to start a business, for example, with another partner. If their horoscopes are matching, then those two people will be very, very much helping. Well, their activities will be very fruitful to each other. But if suppose the horoscopes are not matching, the matching qualities or virtues are not effective, not good, then the person will fight with each other. After they will start the business, but business will suffer afterwards. This is how the matching of the horoscopes of a partner, of a wife and husband, or boy and girl, they are being done by the rishis, and this is 100% true. If a person is not given a wrong data of his time of birth, date of birth, place of birth, because sometimes people are just cheating. They find that boy is very from good family. The girl's parents will just give wrong data. If the girl's data are not good, they find that girl's horoscope is not good, and just to make it good with the help of some wrong people, wrong panditas or wrong Vedic astrologers, they will find that how my daughter will get married with this person. Please match this. So they will make that very wrong one. So these kind of activities are doing. So then the person can suffer in his life. But if the virtues of the two people are matched together out of 60 gunas, what are those 60 gunas? I can define that. 1, 2, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If you add these, there are 36 quality of 36 virtues. If out of these 36 virtues of the person, in basic gana both are there. I mean, husband's gana is suppose Dev gana, wife is something Manushya gana or Rakshas gana. Okay, then they are not going to, match each other. They will fight all throughout his life, their life. This is how Dev gana, Rakshasa gana, if both are there. So, I mean, these virtues or things are 36 virtues or gunas. They are matched at the time of marriage. This is 100% true. If the persons are giving the true data, then 100% true predictions goes. But if the person is giving wrong data, then the problem comes. Okay, then they will have that, okay, we match the horoscope, but even then we are fighting with each other. So this kind of things are there. We have checked a number of times. As I found that number of people who are just saying that both husband and wife are having more than 30 virtues matching. For example, 34, 32 out of 36. Then what kind of condition is there in their life? That whatever the person is thinking, husband is thinking, wife is thinking the same way. They will be very fruitful. For example, as one of my colleagues was saying, that when, his mother was thinking something that today there must be a sweet in the house. Okay, then what is happening? The husband is coming with sweet in his hand in the evening. I mean, just thinking the same way. This is how they are matching. So compatibility of the two people is very positive in that case. But if compatibility is just negative or is not matching, then that kind of activity happens. So this is how the matching of the horoscopes of the people. If the two partners are running a business, for example, their horoscopes are matched. Okay, can be matched. If they are matching, then they can start a business. Very fruitful business can be there. This is second thing we will talk about next day. Now come to the point. Okay, so this is what I have talked about. That his virtues are what kind of virtues he is born in a day. So Sunday was there a day. Paksha is Shukla Paksha, very good Paksha. So there is dark Paksha, or that is known as Shukla Paksha. Okay, so in the bright moon time or period he is born. Okay, so this is Shukla Paksha. He is born in Shukla Paksha. Yoga is Vishkam Yoga. His qualities are also good. I have seen. Then Nakshatra is Anuradha Nakshatra, second quarter. Out of 4 quarters, he is born in second quarter. These second quarter, 4 quarters are giving the initial timing, the initial period, how much time he will utilize after birth. Okay, he is born in second quarter. First quarter is gone. So second quarter, beginning of the second quarter, he is born. So that means he will get out of 19 years of Saturn, because Saturn is the lord of Anuradha Nakshatra. So Saturn's period initially he might have obtained. Saturn's period, right? Now, why I'm taking these horoscopes? Because this horoscope is known to almost all the people, or virtues of Prime Minister are known to all the people. So because of that, this teaching, this can be taken by people as a learning process. That's why I have taken this horoscope here, right? Otherwise, I was just that predicted in 2017. I predicted that this will happen. But why I am taking this and that? This is just to teach the people who want to know something about how the horoscope is done, how horoscope is being discussed about, and what are the yogas and all these things people are discussing about. But some say that no, you are knowing the mathematics also, astronomically you are very perfect one. Knowing some astrology or whatever the basics of astrology are there, how to calculate longitude, latitude, etc. You know about, you can define all these things in a better manner. Because of that, we want from you, right? That's why I have taken the request of my people whosoever has suggested all these things or asked me to do this. That's why I have taken this horoscope, right? Otherwise, through this horoscope, people will learn a lot of things. How the samacharas are calculated. I just talked about samachar. Okay, you can find out. And how the people's, how your time is beneficial, this time is beneficial, this time is not beneficial. Okay, I'll talk about that. Now, in this case, he is having different kind of yogas. What are the yogas? The conjunction of planets in the horoscope. That is also, I'll take that. But because I've written down here number of yogas here, important yogas I have taken here. Otherwise, he is having about 68 types of yogas. Out of that 35 yogas, I just thinking initially that let me take 35 yogas, and they are important one. They are also defining the conditions of the person's life. What are the positive signs? What are the negative signs of the person? What he will have in his life? Okay, all these things are defined in the life of a person. So native life is being defined with the help of these yogas also, conjunction of the planets also. Conjunctions, I mean how the planets are placed in the horoscope, and they are forming different kind of yoga positions. Yoga means conjunctions, combinations of those positions or those planets are giving us different kind of yogas. And those yogas are also very self-defining. They will give you a lot of things. Let me talk about the yoga. Before taking yogas, let me take. Okay, so these things. So Devgana, he is born in Devgana. So what is Rakshasgana? Devgana, Devgana, Manushyagana. The nakshatras are, for example, 9 and 9 nakshatras are Devgana in category of Devgana, 9 are in Manushyagana, and 9 are in Rakshasgana. These 27 nakshatras are there, constellations are there. Or constellations or nakshatras are 27. So 9, 9, 9. So these 3 are divided into, or put into 3 categories: Devgana, Rakshasgana, Manushyagana. I'll define them afterwards when I take the lecture series, and how these and the quality of the persons are defined by the nakshatras also. For example, Devgana, the person's activities will be very positive, very auspicious, will be a studious person, will be respecting others, or his teachers, gurus, doing auspicious things, positive, worshipping. All these things are, whatever the things are done by Devgan people, I mean, those people who are just, they are compromising type of people. They will always take compromising attitude, right? His attitude is not fighting, quarreling with others, no, nothing. Let us change our life and go other way. Take the right path. If something is obstacle, people are opposing you, then you take another another path. This is how Devgan people are doing. Okay, they take always the auspicious thing, always thinking about future, not involving themselves into fighting or all those things which are time wasting. Right? Time wasting activities are not done by Devgan people. What the Manushyagana people do, Manushyagana nakshatras, mostly Purva nakshatra, Purva Sar, Uttar Sar, Purva and Uttar, these are six nakshatras, and 3 more nakshatras, which are, I think, Revati. There are 3 more nakshatras, Revati, Ardra nakshatra, and 1 more is there. These are total 9 Manushyagana, nakshatra. What are the Manushyagana nakshatras? Purva, Uttar Sar, Purva Sar, and Purva Bhadpad, Uttar Bhadpad, and there are 2 more. Okay, so I can just write them also here. That's not a problem. But I'm just defining how 9 planets, 9 nakshatras are in Devgana category, and 9 are in Manushyagana category, 9 are in Rakshasgana category. What is Rakshasgana category? There are, for example, Jyeshtha nakshatra. Jyeshtha nakshatra is Rakshasgana nakshatra, right? And that kind of people, people born in these kind of nakshatra, which are Rakshas nakshatra, they are very hot-tempered people. Hot-tempered people fighting sometimes in the wherever they will live, they will fight with each other. Okay, or if they will not fight with the people of the Rakshas Gana, because how the horoscopes are matched. If Rakshas Gana, suppose boys horoscope is matched with the Rakshas Gana girls boy, they are mostly very compromising, very helping nature type. Okay, both are of the same nature. So in that way, how these horoscopes are matched with the boys and girls, that is done at that time. So this is how Rakshas Gana and Rakshas Gana, Devgan will also run with Manushyagana, because Manushyagana people or Manushyagana born, nakshatra which are Manushyagana or representing Manushyagana people, they are very much respectful to the Devgan people. Devgan and Manushyagana can compromise with each other, no problem at all. But with Rakshas Gana, Devgana, they are fighting with each other. They say always fighting, not compromising with each other. And what about Rakshasagana and Manushagana? Manushagana people will be killed or will have to finally, eliminated by Rakshasagana people. Rakshasagana will not compromise with. But Devgana and Rakshasagana. This is how, all these things are defined in astrology, right? They should teach the astrological events or activities or nakshatra qualities. I think these stories are framed just to teach astrology. That is what I think about, because all these things that Rakshas and demons and gods, they were having fighting with nothing. These stories are just framed to teach the astrology in the proper manner. All the nakshatra, just to match the people, the quality of the people are being matched with these kinds of activities. Because you can find your friends in your society, in the class, in your own family, you can find that your brother, your sister may be of different nature. You are of different nature, but other is all totally opposite nature. Why? They are having different kind of nakshatra born, right? Your nakshatra is of second kind, other kind. Devgana, or maybe they have Rakshasagana, or Manushagana they are having. So, that kind of activities are happening everywhere, wherever you are living. You will find that people are of different nature. Some are very much compromising with you. Why? Because their moon is having the same kind of position in their horoscope, just according to yours, right? Very positive one, according to yours. That is how they are matching friendly people. Okay, this is how society is being divided. This is how astrology defines. The Vedic astrology is very much vast, thing, completely defining the life. Okay, was how the people are having friends and this and that. If you just frame the horoscope, cast the horoscope of another person, and you understand this person is just like you. And I have found this 100% true. The people who are of the same kind of nakshatra they are born, and they are having very good friendship. I have found this. Devgana with Devgana, Rakshasagana with Rakshasagana, Manushagana with Manushagana. They will appreciate with each other. They appreciate each other, right? That is how these natures of the people are defined with the astrology, with the help of astrology. Now, in this case, he is Devgana. Now, he will be opposed by who? The people who are of Rakshasagana nakshatras. The people who are born with Rakshasagana nakshatras, or their nakshatra is of category of Rakshasagana, they will oppose him. But Manushagana and the Devgana, those people will appreciate him. This is how the nature of the people is defined. Okay, so this is how the majority of the people will appreciate him. The reason is Devgana and Manushagana. These two category people will find good quality in him. This is how the astrology says. Now, this is how friendship or the society, friendship in the society, friendship in the country is being framed or being formed, right? So this is how the astrology defines the person's nature or a person's nature. The nativity of a person is defined in this way. Okay, we can just take one horoscope. I can go through this for a number of days, a week or months or years. I can define each virtue of a person with the help of astrological things, because astrology is complete science, super science. I think I say always super science because activities are happening in a proper manner if you know the right time of the person. This is the only requirement I always say. If the person's of date of birth, time of birth, place of birth are exact one, mostly time of birth, exact time of birth is given, or date of birth is also exact one, then a person's horoscope is 100% true. His events will be just defined according to whatever events are happening, okay, or whatever time is given to us. So that is how the astrology is completely defining a person's life. No other thing can define a person in this way. As psychology, nothing. Psychology is just half thing, cannot define, cannot predict anything about a person's life. But astrology, Vedic astrology is defining everything. As I have already defined that how Western astrology and other astrologies and the Vedic astrology is different, because Vedic astrology has the predictive power. It has prediction power, or can predict our future life, can predict our person's activities. Everything can be defined with the help of Vedic astrology. And all these things are just what you call organs of astrology. Samachar, I have just told you about how Samachar is defining a person's quality, a person's virtues. This is how Samachar defines. Even the person's nakshatra, in which nakshatra person is born, in which ascendant person is born, lagna, how about the position of the planet. Let me take the yogas. What yogas are formed? Yogas is my third venture of this. I've talked about this time period. That during this time period he will have kind of, in the Rahu period, I'll define this later when he will become Okay guys, let me now take what are the yogas formed in his horoscope. Now different kind of yogas, as I've talked about already, that there are 68 yogas in almost all the people's horoscopes. Number of yogas are formed. Some people are having 50 yogas, some 30, 35, 40, 55, etc. etc. So, okay, out of 1000 yogas, we can have different kind of yogas, right? So he is having 68 yogas. I have taken mostly important one I have already defined Mushal yoga, because all the planets are placed in the what do you call fixed signs. What are the fixed signs? 8. This is fixed sign. Let me define from fixed sign. First is 2, then 5, 8, and 11. Fixed signs. What are the movable signs? 1, 4, then 1, 4. If I add 3 here, 7, and then 10, right? And then 3, 6, 9, and 12. These are the dual signs, or having both qualities of movable sign type or fixed type. Okay. These 4 signs, 3, 6, 9, 12, they are of fixed sign. They are dual sign, dual activities, and these are the fixed signs. 2, 5, 8, 11. 2, 5, 8, 11. If all the 4 kendras or central positions, 8 here, 11, and 2 and 5. These 4 kendras are of fixed signs. So fixed signs means almost all the planets are posited in fixed signs. So the person is very determined, very promising one, truthful one. Whatever he will promise, he will make that promise complete. Okay, or he will fulfill that promise. This is how a person is very fixed, determined, or fixed type of nature he is having, not easily changing his statement, whatever. This is how he is fulfilling type of person. This personality is very much, as I've already defined it, that personality is very much fixed one, determined one, promising one, truthful one, not easily changing his views. So some people will say that he is overstimulated person, he is fastest person, this and that, but no, that is very much fruitful to the public. The people will like him because of his fixed nature. If a person is changing his nature. Yes friends, so I was talking about what are the yogas formed in the horoscope of Mr. Modi, right? The Prime Minister, the present Prime Minister, he is having number of yogas, as I have talked about, that there are 68 yogas I have seen. Okay, I have just checked about all these yogas. I have calculated, I have seen all different kind of yogas are formed, right? Out of 1000, more than 1000 yogas are there. Out of that, in every native's horoscope, there are number of yogas formed. Some are having only 30, some are having 35, 40, 45, 50, 60, 70, even 80, 90, etc. etc. Right? So number of yogas are present in a person's horoscope. That person's horoscope is more powerful. The nativity of that person born in that kind of situation, will have different kind of situations. Right? Yogas are giving the person's status. Right? What are the status? Now let me talk about. There are basically 4 kind of yogas. One is known as Raj yogas. They are giving us a status. Status of a person is given by the Raj yogas. What are Raj yogas? Relationship between planets of the Kendras and the Trikonas. What are Trikonas? Trikonas is first house, 5th house, and 9th house. These three houses are known as Trikona houses. Right? First, 5th, and 9th. So 1, 5, 9, these 3 houses are known as Trikona houses. So if the owners of or lords of these 2 houses, right, or the rasis which are occupying, or the signs occupying these 3 houses, and the lord of those houses are having any relationship between them, they are forming the Raj Yoga and the Kendras. Kendras are, first house is also known as Trikona, as well as Kendra means central point. And there are 4 kendras: first house, 4th house, 7th house, and 10th house. 1, 4, 7, 10. These 4 are the 4 pillars of the, just like a house or building. They are the 4 pillars of the horoscope. First house, 4th house, 7th house, and 10th house. Okay, so in the relationship between Trikona lords and Kendra lords, right? There are Raj Yoga formed, or relationship between Trikona, Kendra. Kendra is also a Trikona, as well as, first house is as a Trikona as well as a Kendra. So Kendraj, Trikonaj, the lords of these houses having any relation, they are forming the Raj Yogas. Raj Yogas means giving the status of the person is increased or is heightened. So if there is any relationship between the two owners of these two types of houses, Trikonaj and Kendraj, then there is Raj Yogas. So I have seen here there are 8 Raj Yogas formed. 8 Raj Yogas are formed. So his status will be of higher category, right? So this is how the status Raj Yogas are giving our status. Then Dhana Yogas, giving the wealth. How many Dhana Yogas are present in a horoscope of a person? That is known as Dhana Yoga. What is Dhana Yoga? Dhana Yoga is formed with the help of 9th Lord, Central, Kendra Lord, Central Lord, right? 2nd Lord, 9th Lord, 11th Lord, right? These are having a relationship between the Lagna Lord. So Dhana Yogas are formed. Dhana Yogas are giving the wealth to the person, the native. So Dhana Yogas. Then there are Arist Yogas. Arist Yogas are giving a person danger or dangerous life will be had by the person, or person will have a dangerous life. Arist Yogas. How the Arist Yogas are formed? This will be 6th Lord, 8th Lord, 12th Lord. These houses are having some relationship, or the for example, Ascendant Lord is placed in 6th house, 8th house, 12th house, will have some arrest. I mean, early death or something. There are certain conditions for that. So they are known as arrest yogas. Arrest means dangerous yogas. They will have some losses to the candidate, to the native. So arrest yogas. Then there are so Dhana yogas, Raj yogas, arrest yogas. Then there are poverty, or they are known as what you call poverty yogas, or not Daridri yogas. They are known as Daridri yogas or poverty yogas, penury yogas. Okay, person will suffer with poverty throughout his life. Nobody will help him. He will have poverty. Will be a beggar. Will beg money from others. Okay, that kind of, this is known as Daridri yogas. So Daridri yogas, Arist yogas, Dhana yogas, and Raj yogas. These are basically 4 kinds of yogas. And Panch Mahapurush yogas, there are 5 Panch Mahapurush yogas. There are Mahapurush yogas. They are also giving a person stability, capability. The person is known as a Mahapurush. Means he is having different kind of qualities which will give him the status of a Mahapurush. Means person which is higher category of a human being. That is Mahapurush yoga. I mean, he is a greater human being. Okay, or having all kinds of qualities, or virtuous person. You know, they are known as Panch Mahapurush yogas. Right? All those Panch Mahapurush yogas, I'll talk about what are the Panch Mahapurush yogas. First of all, there are 5 planets, and they are other than Sun, Moon, Rahu and Ketu. Now, these 4 planets are excluded, and other remaining 5 planets. What are those 5? Mars, Jupiter, Venus, Saturn, right? And okay, Venus, Jupiter, Mars, Saturn, and other is Mercury, right? Mercury is also there. So Mercury, Venus, these are the 2 interior planets, known as interior, which are near to the Sun. And outer planets are 3, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn, these 3 are what you call outer planets, right? Outer planets and interior planets, 2 Mercury and Venus. These 5 planets are having Mahapurush yogas. What are the conditions for Mahapurush yogas? I'll talk about them. So these yogas, I mean, from what are the, basically there are 4 types of yogas formed. What are those 4 types of yogas? How yogas are formed in a horoscope? Let me talk about that. There are basically, what is the relationship between the position of planets, right? First is a relationship between planet to planet. This is one category of yoga formed. Planet relationship between planets, right? For example, Moon and Jupiter, if they are in the central positions or they are in Kendras from each other, that is known as Gajakeshari yoga, right? So these kind of yogas are formed. This is known as planet to planet relationship, right? Different other kinds of yogas are there. Okay, based on this kind of situation, a relation between planet to planet. One kind of yoga is formed. Second yoga is relation between planet and a house. The position of a planet in the house, in the central 9th house, okay, Lagna Lord, Kendra Lord, or Trikon houses, etc., etc. So planets positions in the in the houses other than 6, 8 and 7, 6, 8 and 12, 6th house, 8th house or 12th house. They are also, I mean, if planets are posited there, they will give different kind of position. In this case, 6th house, 8th house and 12th house are vacant. Very good position, because the person will not have any kind of problem in his life. I mean, suffering, no, not any kind of suffering. The person will always prosper. Prosperity is there. So, okay, that kind of thing is there. Now, the thing is that in childhood period, because person is born in Anuradha Nakshatra, which is lord by Saturn. So initially the person might have suffered because of parents and other things, but because of his own activities, person is not going to suffer. That is how this horoscope is showing 6th house, 8th house and 12th house vacant. No planets are there, right? This is how very strong position of planets there. So that is there. So this is known as planets to house relationship, right? Then planet to signs relationship. The planets are exalted in particular signs. Okay, so sign and planet relationship, third kind of relationship. What I talked about, planet to planet relationship formed yugas. So yugas are formed between planet to planets, position of planets with other planets. Yugas are formed. Then planet positioned in different signs. So planets and signs, Rasi and Graha, their relationship is also formed in yoga. So yoga are combination. This kind of yoga are also formed, right? Then third kind is I talked about the planets and houses, in which houses planets are positive. So that will also give third kind of yoga. Then involving all the three things. What are three things? Fourth kind. Houses, planets and signs is the fourth category. So in this way also the combinations are formed, the conjunctions of the planets with the houses, with the signs, particular signs and particular houses. This is the fourth kind of yoga formed. So these are four basic categories in which the different kind of yogas are formed, with the combination, conjunctions of the planets, with the houses, with the signs, with the particular kind of houses. So all the four kinds of planets are there. So these are known as yogas. Now, how many yogas are formed? What kind of yogas are formed in your horoscope? That is going to give us the status, the wealth, prosperity, learning. Okay, person is very studious, very brilliant throughout his life, and different from other human beings. He is having more intellectual power. This kind of positions are given by the yogas formed. So yogas are giving a person's status. As I told you, that Raj Yoga is giving a status of the person is increased. So Raj Yoga is giving a status or increasing the status of a person. Second thing, Dhani Yoga is giving wealth. Arist Yoga is giving dangers in the life. Okay, Arist Yogas are also formed in the person's life. For example, suppose yoga is present in a horoscope, but time period is not obtained by the person, no yoga will be fulfilled then. Okay, so only position of the planet in the horoscope is not required, but timings, Vimsoti Dasha as well as transit. The three things are required. The promises by the planets position in the house. Promises are first thing. Basically, just like body. If our body is very strong, disease free, alright, that is, and how this disease free is there, that if we are having the circumstances, if we have lack of money, lack of food, eating, nothing is there for our eatings, then our health is going to suffer. So that kind of position, strength is there in the horoscope, but no opportunities are given. Means time, Vimshoti Dasa, just for a Vimshoti Dasa, our period is not running properly or is not of proper planets, then the person is not going to get his status increased. Okay, or the things which are promised in the horoscope will not be obtained by the person if the time is not running at that moment, right? For example, the study time is there, but the planets of the study is not, the time period of the study planet is not there. Means 5th house or 4th house. 4th house represent up to 12th level studies, means intermediate study, up to studies up to 12th standard, right? Middle class studies. And higher studies are represented by 5th house. So 5th house Lord is, the time period is not there, then he will not get the higher studies, or higher studies are not obtained by the person with good marking or this and that. Okay, so that is the position how the planets are getting. Promises are obtained, but promises are there in the horoscope, but they are not fulfilled because of time period is not running at that moment. And the transit of the planets is also there. The transit of the planets, for example, daily transit of the planet, your fourth house lord. As I have seen this in my own life also. Whenever the fourth lord, my fourth lord is debilitated, for example, and fourth lord represents your property, your vehicles, right? Your property, vehicles, as well as your mother house, right? Mother is also represented by fourth house. Whenever fourth house is debilitated, fourth house lord is debilitated currently in transit, as I have seen in my life, I got, I met with an accident when my fourth lord was debilitated. Okay, during the same period when my fourth lord was debilitated, my mother died, right? Mother expired. In the same period when I saw that, and returning, okay, from the final rites of the mother, I met with an accident. So how the fourth lord is debilitated, okay, that is going to separate you from your mother, from your vehicles, etc. So that is how the conditions are represented. Means transit is also giving three positions. Promises in the horoscope, your Bimshoti Dasa time period is running in your according to your horoscope, what time period is running at the moment. Then transit of the current movement of the planets, or motion of the planets currently, where planets are moving at this moment, right? What is the actual situation of the planet in these days? There are three conditions. They will give you the actual occurrence of your event or your promises, your fulfillment of your promises. This is how these things are being discussed about. If you are so much, good at all these three things, or knowing these things, then you can predict easily, right? The prediction can be rectified if first is data given are to be accurate one. If data are not correct, you can cast a horoscope. That horoscope is just wrongly done. You can predict anything, but not going to fulfill. So first basic thing is correct data, exact data of the person, date of time of birth and date of birth, place of birth. These three things are must. Without them, your prediction can be wrong. So that is first thing. Then the promises in the horoscope of a person. If the promises are there, the person will get all these things. Now let me talk about the yogas in this horoscope. The basic thing is yogas and this. So I have talked about that 68 yogas are there. Out of that, main yogas, even I have taken here 17 yogas I have written down here, but I'm sorry, I cannot write all the yogas here on the board, and I cannot go further this because this has become lengthy lecture, prediction series. So I have to just finish today only. Within the 2 more lectures only, this one and the next one also. So I'll just let me describe them briefly. So what are the basics of yoga formation? What are the yogas or combination of the planets or conjunction of the planets? So that is known as yoga. Okay. What are the yogas here? Let me just talk about those yogas. First yoga I have taken here, which I have already discussed about, Mushal yoga. How Mushal yoga and Raju yoga and Nal yoga, or Nal yoga, right? This Nal yoga, that means Nal yoga or Raju yoga and Mushal yoga. Mushal yoga is formed when all the planets of a person, right, or in the Kendraj, first house, fourth house, seventh house and ninth house, there are fixed signs. Okay, fixed signs are in the Kendraj or in the fourth houses. First, for example, 8, 11, 2 and 5. These are the fixed signs, as I told you in the previous lecture, that there are 4 signs which are fixed signs, movable signs and dual signs. Okay, that means dual signs, or having both characteristics of fixable signs as well as of movable signs. So they are known as dual signs, right? Dual signs or mixture signs or combination signs, right? Combined signs you may say, or dual signs they are known as. Now come to the point. So 4 signs are divided into 3 categories. First is fixed signs, we can say fixed, or first is movable signs, then fixed signs, and then third is dual signs, right? Having both the characteristics of movable as well as of fixed. Now in this case, this horoscope is having all the 4 pillars, this one, this first, fourth, 7th and 10th. These 4 houses are occupied by signs which are of fixed nature. 8th sign, Scorpio sign, is fixed sign. This Aquarius sign, Taurus sign 2 and Leo sign 5, right? All these 4 are known as fixed signs. So when the fixed signs are there in the horoscope of a person and all the planets are posited in these 4 houses, it depends upon planets position in the houses or in the signs. In which signs the planets are posited, most of them, majority of them, where are present. So here in this case, almost all the planets are placed in fixed signs, right? And houses are also, the 4 planets are also occupied by fixed signs. In this way, the planets are mostly formed. This is known as Mushal Yoga. In this case, Mushal Yoga. Rajju Yoga is what? When movable signs 1, 4, 7 and 10, if are there, these 4 signs are known as movable signs. When all the planets are presented in movable sign, majority of them is in movable sign, and 4 kendras are, or 4 central points, first 4 and 7 and 10, they are occupied by movable sign. Then Rajju Yoga is formed, that Rajju Yoga, and that is giving a person's personality is different, right? Of movable type. Movable type means he is changing his statements again and again, not fixed person. He is what you call changing his colors again and again, not fixed at his promises. He cannot fulfill his promises. Whenever sufferings comes, he will change his views. So this is how a politician type of person. He is not a fixed politician, but mostly the person admires that person who is a fixed type of nature. Whatever promises are fulfilled, and if whatever promises are made by him and they are fulfilled by him, that person is mostly a good leader. So in this case, good leadership qualities are there, because this is fixed signs. Most of the planets are in the fixed signs. The person is having Mushal Yoga. First is Mushal Yoga I have taken. This is very much what you call visible here, because almost all the planets are in fixed signs and all the 4 kendras are in fixed signs. So this is Mushal Yoga. The person is fixed, determined, not changing his views. Whatever promises he made, that will be kept by him. This Mushal Yoga I have talked about number of times. Now come to the Sankhya or number yoga. This is number yoga. Sankhya based means how many planets are occupying how many houses, how many signs or how many houses are occupied by the planets. Here mostly we talk about those 7 planets, except Rahu and Ketu, right? Removing or excluding Rahu and Ketu, those 7 remaining planets are occupying how many houses in number. Now in this case, 4 houses are occupied by almost the 7 planets. Mars and Moon in first house, Jupiter, Saturn, Venus, third house, and 4th house is Mercury and Sun in 4th house. So there are 4 houses occupied by almost 7 planets. 7 planets are occupying, except Rahu and Ketu. Rahu is here. We are not counting Rahu and Ketu because they are sensitive points, not actual planets. The 7 planets occupy how many houses? 5 houses, 4 houses, 3 houses, or whatever least number of houses are occupied by the person. It is said that the person will be so much, sannyasi type, means he will abdicate everything. If the less houses, 2 houses, 3 houses are occupied, or majority of the planets are placed in one house, like 8th house, 6th house or 12th house, the person will liberate everything. He will be a sannyasi. He will abdicate his life as or will pass his life as a sannyasi, as a as a person who has left everything in his life, so become sannyasi, become a nun, a lady, become a nun. Okay, he will leave everything. So he will leave everything of his life. So that person is known as sannyasi because of placement of the planets. If planets are placed in lesser number of houses, that is, person will become sannyasi, will leave everything of his life. Sannyasi here means abdicate. He will abdicate the luxurious life. He will become a sannyasi. That is how the person is. Now comes the point. So usually this Sankhya Kedar means here 4 houses. So planets are occupying 4 houses. All the 7 planets are occupying 4 houses. This Sankhya Kedar Yoga, this is number based. Number of houses based. Houses and planets. Planets are placed in the houses. How many houses? 4 houses. This is known as Sankhya Kedar Yoga. Sankhya Kedar Yoga, Mushal Yoga I have talked about. Sankhya Kedar Yoga, and this will give again very much adamant type of person, very promising person, determined person, again very affluent person. Affluent means affluent in case of, sense, intelligence, his study or whatever his, thinking power is very abundant, right? The person will be very much admired throughout the world. This is how Sankhya Kedar Yoga. Almost all the planets are placed, and the second thing is that almost benefic planets, Moon, Jupiter, Venus, even Mercury is also retrograde, is tending towards the 5th house or aspect in the 10th house. So 10th house. So Kendras are occupied by benefics. All the benefics are in Kendras. That means giving a very good status. The person is having Sankhya Kedar means 4 houses are occupied by all the 7 planets. This is Sankhya Kedar Yoga. Sankhya Kedar Yoga means numbering of the houses, how many houses are occupied by the planet. This is Sankhya Kedar Yoga. Kedar means 4 houses are occupied. Sankhya Kedar Yoga. So this is giving a person more, abundancy in everything, admired, determined, promising one, most promising one, because almost all planets are occupying 4 houses only, or means all the 7 planets are occupying. Then Ruchaka Yoga. Now there are 5 Mahapurush Yogas, as I talked about. Mahapurush Yogas are what? When the planets in the Kendras or in Trikonas houses. Trikona houses are 5th house. Mostly in Kendra we talk about. In Kendra, if a person is not Trikona houses, but in Kendra only 4 houses. 1st house, 2nd, 4th house, 7th house and 10th house. In these houses, if the planets are positive, placed, and in their exalted sign or in their own sign. What their own signs? So their own signs are, for example, Mercury owns Gemini, third sign, and 6th sign, Virgo. So in these 2 houses, if these 2 signs, in the suppose Gemini is in the ascendant Lagna, 1st house, Gemini is there, Gemini sign is there, and Mercury is placed there, his own sign. So that Mahapurush Yoga is formed. But that Sas Yoga, Sas Mahapurush Yoga is formed. And or in Virgo, exalted sign, Virgo. But there is one condition, that they must not occupy conjunct with Sun and Moon. If Sun and Moon are with them, with Mars, with Jupiter, with Venus, with Saturn, and with Mercury, these 5 planets are there, they are forming Mahapurush Yoga. Here Ruchaka Yoga is formed. But Ruchaka Yoga is not completely formed. Reason is Moon is with Mars. Mars is in the 1st house with in his own sign. Own sign is Scorpio, and one sign means Aries. Aries and 8th sign or Scorpio. These two signs are owned by Mars. Mars is owner of Aries, 1st sign, and 8th sign. So Mars is posited in his own sign. So I am taking his, right? No problem. So Mars is occupying his own sign. So Ruchaka Yoga is formed. But Moon is presented. Moon is 9th lord undoubtedly, but Moon is present with him. So that is diminished. Mahapurush Yoga is minutely diminished, because this is of niche, debilitated. Moon is debilitated in this sign. So debilitation is not going to, so much afflict the position of the Mars, and both are friendly signs. Okay, Mars and Moon both are friendly planets. So that is not going to diminish its quality. Okay, the Mahapurush Yoga, Ruchaka Mahapurush Yoga is present. And mostly, if it is diminished, then in the period of Mars, when the Mars period will come, which I have already talked about, that Mars period is the best period for him from 11th October 2022, 11th October 2027. This Mahapurush Yoga will be visible, or will be most fructified in the period of that planet whenever it comes. That characteristics of that yoga are fulfilled, are fructified. So these characteristics of the person will be fructified. What kind of characteristics are given by this Ruchaka Mahapurush Yoga? Ruchaka Mahapurush Yoga means formed by the Mars. Mars in the own sign. Mars is exaltation sign of Mars is in Capricorn. Capricorn is 10th sign, this one. In this sign, Capricorn, Mars is exalted, right? So if 10th sign was there in the first house, 4th house or 7th house or 10th house, then Mars was also forming Ruchak Yoga, Ruchak Mahapurush Yoga. But in this case, Mars is in his own sign, means Scorpio is own sign, is forming a Ruchak Mahapurush Yoga. So this Ruchak Mahapurush Yoga will give the person more adamant type of activities. He will just like a warrior type. Whatever promise, he will just do surgical operations like, right? The person is going to take daring type of activity he will take. During his period, the period of Mars will come, then person will dare to do a lot of other things which a common man cannot do. Right? To admire, the person will do adamant type of activities. I mean the activities which are not or cannot be done by simple persons, by common person. He will take that kind of steps. That kind of steps can be taken by the person in the same period. Ruchak Mahapurush Yoga is formed. If then the person will do a number of daring acts which simple person cannot do. Daring, because Mars represents daring type. He is a commander chief. Mars is known as commander in chief of Devas, Devgana. They are Devgan group. What is Dev group or Devgan groups? Right? Rakshas group, Dev group. They say Devgan group. Mars, Moon, Sun, and Jupiter. These four are in the Devgan group. Right? So these four are in Devgan group. So Mars is, Moon is with Mars. So Mars is having commander-in-chief of activities. The person is very much defense type of person. He is commander-in-chief. Mostly his promises are being fulfilled. He will be adamant type of person. Will take daring acts or daring activity he will take during this period, because this period is of Mars itself. So Mars will give him warrior type of activities, daring type of activities, adamant type of activities, promising most determined person in this period, because the promises are fulfilled, for example. That is how Ruchak Mahapurush Yoga will give him the activities. So this is Ruchak Mahapurush Yoga. Third one I have talked about Ruchak Mahapurush Yoga because Mars is in his own sign in the Lagna. Just like Ruchak Mahapurush Yoga I have talked about. Then third is Gajkeshri Yoga. This mostly is found in most of the people's horoscopes. What is Gajkeshri Yoga? When Jupiter and Moon both are in Kendras from each other. Kendra means first house, fourth house, seventh house, 10th house. These are the Kendras positions. Or if Jupiter and Moon both are present, both are posited in the same house, in the first house, or Moon is from Jupiter in the Kendra. Right? In this case, from Moon, Jupiter is in central point, fourth house. Moon is here in the first house, first, second, third, fourth. The fourth house, 1, 4, 7, 10. Here the Kendra positions, central positions. So if Jupiter is from Moon in the central position or in the Kendras, fourth house, seventh house, or 10th house, that will be formed as a Gajkeshri Yoga. This is plant-to-plant relationship, as I talked about initially. The plant-to-plant relationship is Gajkeshri Yoga, and this is mostly found in people's horoscopes. And this gives person intelligence, a studious type of nature. I mean, person is intelligent, learning type of activity he will have. Person will study scriptures, etc. So he will have scriptural powers or scripture powers. I mean, he will study the sacred things or scriptures. Studies type, okay, religious type of person, okay, or intelligent type of person. So he is having some basic, I mean, what he call intelligence, study type, very much what he call learning activity he will have. He will follow some learning activities, always learning, okay, talking about something, religious things, sacred things, all these things. So this is how religious thing. This Gajkeshri Yoga gives the person intelligence, learning capability. Okay, so person will learn a lot of things, a number of sacred things. So this is Gajkeshri Yoga, found in most of the people's horoscopes. Then Kalpdrum Yoga, Kemdrum Yoga. The Kalpdrum Yoga, Kemdrum Yoga is present here because from the Moon in the 12th house, in the second house, no planet is present from the Moon. This one is Kemdrum Yoga or Kalpdrum Yoga. These two are found. But still, from Kemdrum Yoga is just, is what you call, is there is a bhang, I mean, is cancelled. Reason is why it is cancelled, because from moon, the position of the moon from benefics, the position of the benefics Jupiter and Venus, right, is in the kendras or in the central points. Okay, from the moon, Jupiter is in the central point in the 4th house, or Venus is also in the 10th house from moon central positions. That is cancelled here. And the moon is also positioned with what you call Mars, which is lord of that house, and is 9th lord. So moon is also 9th lord. That is cancelled here. Kendram Yoga, Kalpdrum Yoga, these two are of similar type. Kalpdrum Yoga is formed when in the 12th house. 12th house from moon is this 12th house. Second house is this. No planets are here. So when no planets are there in the 12th house, and with the moon also, but with the moon, Mars is there. But in 12th house and second house, there is no planets. But even then, Mars is there with moon. That kind of, Kendram Yoga or Kalpdrum Yoga is cancelled. This is not there, but its quality, its what you call results will be there. Okay, the results formed by Kendram Yoga, Kalpdrum Yoga are cancelled. If the person is not taking decisions easily or early. Okay, person cannot take decisions. He is always bewildered. If moon is isolated, moon is posited isolatedly without any planets in the 4th house, in the 12th house, or in the 2nd house. Okay, in the 12th house is this. If there is no planet here, there is no planet here. But because from the moon's position, central positions of the benefics are there. Jupiter in the central position, Venus is in the central position, so he can take decisions. Daring decisions can be taken. With that I have already talked about. So, okay, so the person is this Kendram Yoga, Kalpdrum Yoga, both are cancelled, or they are not present here. Kalpdrum Yoga, Kendram Yoga were present, but still they are cancelled. The reason is position of the moon is very strong, is 9th lord, presented with or posited with the ascendant lord Mars. Okay, that position is different. Can take decisions easily, no problem of taking decisions. Now, second is Uttamad Dhan Yoga. What is this Uttamad Dhan Yoga? Apokulima houses are that from the sun, if moon, okay, other than moon, from the sun, or from the sun, moon's position is where? From the sun's position. What is the position of the moon? In which houses? The moon's position is in 3, 6, 9, 12 houses from the sun. Then this Apokulima position is present. Or this Uttamad Dhan Yoga is there. Uttamadi Dhan Yoga. Uttam type of dhan. In this case, okay, the three things: the brilliance, the what you call intelligence, okay, then wealth, and what you call the position. The intelligence, wealth, and dhan. Wealth means dhan ho gaya. Okay, that is dhan. And brilliance or intelligence, right? Study, learn. These three things will be plenteous type. Uttam means plenteous type, more in quantity, right? All these three things will be more in quantity. What you call capability, Uttamad Dhan Yoga means Uttam. There are three things which are plenteous position in person. What are those? Brilliance, okay, dhan means wealth, as well as third thing is capability or daring. Okay, what you call strength in the body, physical strength, or wealth is strength of the wealth, and brilliance is strength, mental power. So these three things are in plenteous form. This is one Uttamad Dhan Yoga, because moon is posited in 3rd house from sun. What is 3rd house from sun? Sun is here in the 11th house. 1, 2, 3. Moon is in the 3rd house. If moon is posited in 3, 6, 9, 12 positions from sun, then this Apokulima positions are there. Apokulima positions are 3, 6, 10, 3, 6, 9, 12. These 4 positions are Apokulima houses. If moon is posited in Apokulima houses from the sun, then this yoga is formed, right? Uttamad Dhan Yoga. Uttamad Dhan Yoga means moon in 3, 6, 9, 12 from sun. Then the Uttamad Dhan Yoga is formed. Person will have these three things in more quantity, or in plenteous form, in abundant form. Okay, more quantity. So these three things are there. Daring means strength, body strength, physical strength, wealth, and belief. These three things are in abundant position. Now come to the point next. So next is after the Boshi Yoga. What is Boshi Yoga? They say that planets in the 12th house from Sun is other planets are there than Moon. Moon is not in the 12th house from Sun, but other planets are there. So here Saturn and Venus are presented, are posited in the 12th house from Sun. What is 12th house from Sun? 10th house. This 10th house from Sun. That means back house. I mean one house back. That's not 12th house. In the 12th house from Sun, if there is other planets other than Moon, Moon is not there but other planets. So here Saturn and Venus are there, okay, in the 12th position from Sun. So this is known as Boshi Yoga. What is Boshi Yoga? Planets in 12th house from Sun other than Moon, if are there, different kind of, number of different kind of positions are there, or different kind of Boshi Yogas are there. What kind of condition will be there then if Saturn and Venus are there? Saturn and Venus are giving. Venus, if in 12th position, then person will have interest in TV, journalism, all these kind of activities. Venus represents TV, cameras, and all these activities. Activities of luxurious type of activities, means traveling, okay, TV shows, okay, even computers are nowadays presented by this Venus activities. So Venus presented TV, cameras, dramas, okay, or videos, all these things person will have interest, right? Boshi Yoga, in this case Venus is giving, and Saturn is giving the person very laborious activity. The person will be very laborious, studious type of person. Saturn is giving. We can't say that suffering will be, okay, can be borne by the person. So person can be capable, because in this case Saturn is aspecting the 4th house, is own sign, right? That is how this person is so much studious type. So in this case Saturn and Venus are in the 12th house from Sun. So Boshi Yoga is formed. This is also giving very good position to the person, right? So this is Boshi Yoga. Now ninth is Parvati Yoga, very important one. What is Parvati Yoga? Now in this case Parvati Yoga is 6th and 8th houses are vacant. You see here the 6th house and 8th house are vacant, no positions are there. If these two houses are occupied by some planets, the person will have sufferings in his life. 6th house gives disease, right? Okay, or disease, etc. And 12th house, 8th house gives some, death, early death, etc. Okay, some accidents, all these kind of things are there in the 8th house. Even hidden things are, taken by the person. Some, the prizes are born if the 8th house is occupied by benefics or something. So if benefics planets are there in the 6th and 8th house, then they have some good effects. But if there are malefics in the 6th and 8th house and 12th house, then the person will have something negative things, right? But in this case, even 6th, 8th and 12th house vacant, no planets are there. The person will have very less, no sufferings in his life. Okay, in the next life, or he will be recognized all over the world. But point is that without suffering, the person is having, so his horoscope is very strong, because no sufferings are there in 6th house, 8th house vacant. This is known as Parvati Yoga. Parvati Yoga is formed when 6th and 8th house vacant and benefics occupy the Kendras. And benefics in Kendra. What are the benefics? Moon is in the 1st house, Kendra, central point, central position. Jupiter is in the 4th house, Kendra, central point. Okay, so 1st house, 4th house, 7th house, 10th house. These 4 houses are known as central point of Kendras. Kendra, these 4 pillars of the whole horoscope. So in the Kendras, if benefics are positive and in 6th house and 8th house are vacant, the Parvati Yoga is formed. Parvati Yoga means the person is just like a mountain, very stable person, not easily changing his position or changing his status, right? That is there. Very, very determined person. So this Parvati Yoga is formed. Parvati Yoga is there. What benefics are in Kendras, Venus and Jupiter. Even Mercury is also in the 10th house, because it is aspecting the 10th house, because it is retrograde at 0 degree. At 0 degree Mercury is, so we can consider that it is in the 10th house. Benefics mostly Jupiter and Venus are considered better than Mercury. Mercury is is a retrograde in this case. So retrograde means is aspect in the 10th house. It is also coming in the 10th house. So Kendras are occupied benefits. 6th and 8th house are vacant. Parvat Yoga is formed. Very strong position, very good Raj Yoga, giving status to the person. Okay, Parvat Yoga. So just like a mountain, the person is there. He is visible to all persons just like a mountain. Very stable type of person. Okay, determined person. Position not is changed by him easily. Okay, he will be determined, will fulfill his all promises. Parvat type of determination is there. Parvat means mountain or hill type of mountain type of position. So Khal then is Kahal Yoga. What is Kahal Yoga? K-A-H-A-L-A. Kahal Yoga. Kahal Yoga is formed when 4th and 9th in mutual Kendra. 4th house Lord and 9th house Lord. 4th house Lord is 11th sign means this Aquarius. Lord is Saturn. Saturn is in the 10th house in Kendra. Right? So 4th house is in Kendra. 4th and 9th house Lord. 9th house Lord is what is 9th house? Destiny house. I told you that Moon is Lord of that house. Cancer sign is in the Kendra, in the first house with Mars. 4th and 9th house in Kendra, mutual Kendra. In mutual means other Kendras, different Kendras. So central position. So 4th Lord is in 10th house and 9th Lord is in first house in Kendras. This house, this Boshi Yoga, Kahal Yoga is formed. This Kahal Yoga again giving very auspicious position to the person. Is person very auspicious, very much giving benefits to others. Very, this person recognized because of his charitable activities. So charitable person is there. He is donating number of things to others. Always. So this 4th house and 4th Lord and 9th Lord. They are Kendra and Trikon sign. They are very auspicious positions, auspicious houses, 4th house and 9th house, and their lords are in Kendras, in central positions. That means the person is having luck, is very powerful, and 4th house gives charitable activities. Okay, so or if charitable activities, why? Because Jupiter is also present there. Jupiter is also present in the 4th house, benefits, and being aspected by Saturn as well as by Venus. Saturn is aspecting its own sign, 4th house. So 4th house is very strong. Even it forms a mother's, Dirgayu, mother's Matra Dirgayu Yoga. Matra Dirgayu means if the position of these planets of 4th Lord in the one sign in D9 divisional chart is also good, is exalted, or its Lord is exalted. In that way, is giving the person Matra Dirgayu Yoga. Mother will live for longer period, for long life, right? Mother's Dirgayu Yoga is also present here. While 4th house is occupied by Jupiter as well as its Lord is aspecting it. So 4th Lord is present in Kendra. So this is Kahal Yoga, giving charitable activities. Okay, Dhan Yoga. Dhan Yoga I have written down here. Dhan Yoga. This is Dhan Yoga, 17th last one. Dhan Yoga. Dhan means the person is always, even if he is having lesser, what you call, this yoga is formed when 9th Lord is in Kendra. They say the first Lord is aspected by 9th Lord and 9th Lord is in Kendra. 4th Lord, 9th Lord is what aspect is posited with Lagna Lord, is conjectured with Mars. Mars is the Lagna Lord or ascendant Lord, and the 9th Lord is with it, with Mars, or not aspecting only. Aspecting means उसको देखना, दृष्टि डालना, और देखना, or aspected. So aspects, only aspect is not there, it is posited with it. That means it's a very strong position. Dhan Yoga is there. Dhan Yoga means the person is always charitable activity he will do. Will give charity to others, even if he is having lesser wealth, no wealth, even then, whatever limited resources he is having. In this case, he may have higher resources. Whatever resources the person is having, he will be charitable. He will do charitable activities. This is how this Dhan Yoga is present here, right? Because 9th Lord is with, or Lagna Lord is aspected by 9th Lord, or is present in the Kendra. This is Dhan Yoga presented. So charitable, Kahal Yoga, Dhan Yoga, they are present here. Then Shankh Yoga, very good position. Shankh Yoga is 11th. I've taken Shankh Yoga. Shankh Yoga, 5th and 6th Lord, they are in Kendras. Lagna Lord is strong. Lagna Lord is already, Mars is very strong. Mars is in own sign, it's forming a Ruchak Mahapurush Yoga. Okay, and is in own sign, so it's very strong. Lagna Lord is strong. And it says 5th and 6th Lord. 5th Lord is Jupiter here, 5th Lord. Pisces sign occupied by Jupiter. Jupiter is in Kendra. Jupiter is in the 4th house, Kendra. 5th and 6th lord. 6th lord is Mars. Mars is also in the Kendra, in the Lagna, 1st house. So Mars is also in the 6th house. So 6th lord, 5th lord, both are in Kendras. That is being a Sankhya Yoga. The Sankhya Yoga. Sankhya Yoga is very auspicious one. The person, we may say that in this case, but what is the result of this? The result is that just like a Shank, very auspicious person, sacred person, will do sacred activities or will build a lot of other things. I mean, very good things with the people. Okay, he just like a Shank is very sacred, so the person will be considered as sacred because he is doing some sacred activities, very auspicious activities he is performing. Okay, so people will like him just like a auspicious person, just like Sank. Sank is considered as a very auspicious thing, that auspicious article for worshipping. So that is Sankhya Yoga. Sankhya Yoga is formed because 5th lord and 6th lord they are in, and Lagna lord is very strong, and 6th lord is even 6th lord is Lagna lord as well, and is present in the 1st house, which is forming this Sankhya Yoga. Sankhya Yoga is very auspicious one. Person will have what do you call very auspicious activities he will do. Okay, the person is considered as an auspicious one, means very good person he is considered because of his charitable activity or other things. So he is just like a Shank, very auspicious one. Shank is used for worshipping activities, considered as sacred one. So in that way, because of his activity, the person will be considered is strong. So this is what Lagna lord is strong, 5th and 6th lord are in Kendra. Then is Bheri Yoga. Bheri Yoga, so Bheri means the person is is considered as a very much royal, bearing. The person will have a royal bearing because Bheri means Bheri, Shank Bheri bajte hain when the person is being admired by people. Okay, then lot of drums and these are beaten. So Bheri is beaten. Bheri is an instrument of making noise, or making positive noise, right? Bheri Yoga. The person is being admired by people because of his activities. So he's having Bheri. What is Bheri Yoga? Bheri Yoga, lord of 9th is strong. 9th lord is moon, which is in the ascendant, with the ascendant lord, right? Lagna lord. Lagna lord of 9th is strong. Lagna lord is also strong, right? Venus and Jupiter in Kendras. Venus and Jupiter, I have already talked about. Venus and Jupiter is in 4th house. Venus in 10th house, so they are in Kendras. Venus and Jupiter are in Kendras. Lagna lord is strong. 9th lord is also strong. And this is known as Bheri Yoga. Very important yoga. 2 kinds of these yogas were formed. Bheri Yoga. There are 2 Bheri Yogas are formed that I'll talk about. So I have taken only one. This one activity is Bheri Yoga. That means person is having royal bearing. Okay, royal type of activity he will do. He's just like a king type, or he is appreciated by the people by using the drums, right? Drums and all these Bheri Yoga. The person is appreciated with the help of instruments and this and this. Okay, so instruments are being played for the person's appreciation. This is Bheri Yoga. Bheri means when kings were running, were going, then a lot of people were, using those drums and Bheris and all, like Bheri, Nagada, etc. So Bheri Yoga means the person is appreciated, he is having royal bearing type activities, and because of that activities, the persons are appreciating using Bheris and drums, etc. Not drums, but musical instruments, etc. So people are appreciating him because of this. So Bheri Yoga, very strong position. Then Akhand Samraj Yoga, very important. Person will have abundant, Akhand means without any disturbance, that kind of kingdom he will have. Kingdom is Akhand Samraj. This is the previous, the old names in the times of kings or kingdoms, when kings were there. So rishis have framed these names. Akhand Samraj Yoga. Person will have his Samraj or his kingdom Akhand, without any disturbance, not scattered. He will have for a number of years, or he will be appreciated for all this. This is what Akhand Samraj Yoga. The person is recognized for a number of years. Okay, his kingdom will be without any disturbance. He will be undisturbed person. Undisturbed type of Samraj or kingdom he will have. the Akhand Samraj Yoga. How it is formed? One of the second, 9th and 11th lords in Kendra from moon. From moon, first lord is in Kendra, because first lord, they say one of the second lord. One of the second lord is Jupiter. Second lord, this Sagittarius is second house is occupied by Sagittarius sign. Sagittarius sign lord is Jupiter. Jupiter is in Kendra. So one of the second lord, 9th lord or 11th lord. Out of these three, any one of them, if it is in Kendra, in central position, then this yoga is formed. Akhand Samraj Yoga is formed. But here it is, we are having 9th lord is also in the Kendra. Moon is 9th lord is in Kendra, central position in first house. And Jupiter, which is second lord, is in central position, means in Kendra position, 4th house. Lord of 9th, sorry, this one. Akhand Samraj Yoga. One of the second, 9th and 11th lords in Kendra is from moon. So from moon, Mars, which is Jupiter, which is second lord, is in 4th house in Kendra. Venus is, or what is the other thing? 9th lord. 9th lord is moon itself. Moon is 9th lord, so second lord, 9th lord, and 11th lord is is Mercury. 11th lord is not in Kendra, but is aspecting the 10th house from moon. We can say that Mercury is also aspecting, because 11th lord is Mercury. Mercury is retrograde. Retrogression gives Mercury aspecting the 10th house. The 10th house may be occupied by Mercury because it is at 0 degree. So Mercury is also in the 10th house. I mean 11th lord, 9th lord, and second lord, 11th lord, and 9th lord. All are in central position from moon. Moon is itself 9th lord in Kendra in first house from moon, right? Jupiter is in second lord, Jupiter is in 4th house. Mercury is in 10th house, we can say, because 10th house is aspected by Mercury, because it is at 0 degree and retrograded also, right? Retrograde also, this is 11th lord. So 11th lord, 9th lord, and 4th and then second lord. All are in Kendra from moon. That is Akhand Samraj Yoga. The person will have, what do you call, undivided kingdom or not disturbed kingdom. Okay, Akhand Samraj Yoga, without any disturbance, without breaking. Any break, he will have continuous Samraj, continuous Akhand Samraj. Means Akhand, whatever he will do, his activity will continue for a longer period. Okay, so this is what he has become second time Prime Minister, third time will also be the Prime Minister, and 3 or 4 times he became Chief Minister. Continuously he has done. So this is showing that thing. Akhand Samraj Yoga is formed here. But the condition of Akhand Samraj Yoga, any astrologer can see these kind of conditions are present there. So this is obvious. Now come to the point. Amar Yoga. What is Amar Yoga? All benefics in Kendras. Naturally, all benefics are in Kendras. Moon is in first house, Jupiter in 4th house, Venus, Jupiter, Moon, and Mercury. These 4 are benefics. And Mercury is also retrograde, as I told you, that Mercury at 0 degree is retrograde also. So is in the 10th house we can consider. So this is also in the 10th house, means Kendra. All the benefits are in Kendra. So this is Amar Yoga. All benefits in Kendras. So will have abundant wealth. The person will have abundant wealth. Not only wealth, because Amar is everything will be Amar, will be immortal. The person will have immortal things, immortal activities. The person will be, or his wealth or his name will remain immortal, means for a number of years. This is what Amar Yoga, right? Amar here means immortal activities. His activities, his wealth, his recognition will be immortal, will remain for a longer period. This is how Amar Yoga is present here. All benefits are in Kendras. This is Amar Yoga formed. Now, then is Raj Yoga, as I have told you, there are 8 kinds of Raj Yogas. What is Raj Yogas? A relationship between 12th Lord, this is, what you call 5th Lord is in Kendra, is in 4th house. So 4th house Lord means Saturn and Jupiter, both are having one relation. This is one Raj Yoga is formed. 9th Lord is Mercury, is Moon. Moon is in that center, means 11th Lord means first house Lord is Mars. Mars and Moon, this Trikon house is the 9th house, and the first house is Trikon as well as Kendra. The Kendra relationship and Moon and Mars both are in Kendra position, in central position. They are having relationship between each other. Okay, because 9th Lord is posited with first house Lord. So they are having Raj Yoga. This one Raj Yoga. This status of the person is increased. How many Raj Yoga they present? 8 Raj Yogas are present here. So I can just find number of these. Time is just limited, so let me complete all these. This is Raj Yoga, 8 Raj Yoga. Dhani Yoga, how Dhani Yoga is formed. So one Dhani Yoga, let me just talk about. Only one Dhani Yoga is present, but number of other things are also indicating Dhani Yogas. Because this one Uttama Dhani Yoga, this is giving wealth and brilliance and all these things of plenteous type. So this is one of the Dhani Yogas, but actual Dhani Yoga is one here, only one present in his horoscope. What is the actual Dhani Yoga? That whatever wealth he will have, but that wealth he will have, that is whatever required things are there, he will have that. That is how Dhani Yoga is formed. So Dhani Yoga is what? The Lord of the Lord of the first house, second house, fifth house, ninth Lord or 11th Lord enter in Kendras or Trikonas. That is their first house is in Lagna itself, in first house itself. Mars is in first house, right? So first house Lord is in Kendra, second house Lord means Jupiter is in fourth house Kendra, fifth house Lord Jupiter itself. So Jupiter second Lord, fifth Lord, Jupiter itself is in Kendra in fourth house, forming the Dhani Yoga. Ninth Lord means Moon is ninth Lord, so is in first house. 11th Lord is Mercury. Mercury is in itself in the same sign, but is also in the Kendra, means in 10th house, aspect in the 10th house, so is at 0 degrees, so it is aspect in 10th house. All these kind of things are there. So we can say that 1, 2, 4, 3, 4, 5, all the 5 planets, 5 houses planets are present in the Kendras. So 5 types of Dhani Yogas are there in this case, indicated. One of them, he says one of them, Dhani Yoga is formed, the Lord of first house, second house, fifth house, ninth Lord, 11th in Kendraj or Trikonas. Kendraj or Trikonas. They are in Kendraj. Okay. All this Dhani Yoga is formed here. So this is one Dhani Yoga. And the Dhani Yoga, I have already clarified that how Dhani Yoga is formed, because first Lord is aspected by ninth Lord. Ninth house Lord means Moon is not aspecting, but it is posited with the first house Lord, Lagna Lord. That is the Dhani Yoga. Dhani Yoga is also there. Number of other yogas are there. What is that? Bhratvriddhi Yoga. Bhratvriddhi Yoga means third house Lord, which is Saturn. Saturn is in the central position, is aspect